shit.
But
with that shit. Thank you.
Oh,
Perfect.
hi.
Hello, everyone, and welcome on into a new episode of Ampistrano. We are back after 2 weeks of being off. I am your storyteller, D&D Jordan Lee, and trying to handle all this wonderful chaos as we have a full house today. So, but before we dive into the game, we do have a couple quick announcements, as well as I know we've been getting some new people watching. So why don't we do a quick go around, and you can also say any announcements at that time of who you are and who you're playing. So I'm going to go with, you know what, let's just go with Chaos today. We're going to go with Sin first.
Hello, my name is Sinziak. I'm going to adjust my volume over here and tell you that I am your resident sunflower bee dressed in garlic toast. I will be playing Blackstone, who uses they pronouns. I use he and they pronouns. And I'm your relative science bot, who's probably going to do something weird today at least once.
I'm here for it, as always. Thank you so much, Sin. Let's jump over to Duval.
Hey everybody, my name is Jacob Plick, Duval King Jacob, wherever one can be found on the internets. Typically, my home away from home on the internet is the Amphitheater, where we play TTRPGs and video games, and as well as the DM of Duval and Dragons over on so many games. And of course, as per usual, I'll be playing Waldor. Both of us are he, him, and he's a total life cleric, and he's got shit to do today. And lastly, really quick announcement. If you're not familiar with the show Outcast on Outclass, you should be. We wrapped up season 1 of our wonderful Pathfinder 2E Adventure Path Strengths of a Thousand game. We just did our talkback, season 1 talkback last Thursday. So the season 2 premiere is the 25th of May. So mark your damn calendars and come hang out and join us. And there's actually a quiz going on. We're doing some giveaways around some trivia for season 1. So stay tuned. And follow WMS on socials and stuff.
Amazing.
Duval, you say turtle so fast that it sounds like you're saying totally life cleric.
Yeah.
He's a totally life cleric.
Totally life
It's
cleric.
like, I just want to cast mass cure wounds
Wow,
on everyone.
I think I've discovered my next character.
Wow. Amazing.
Banishment.
Actually, with that, let's jump over to Fair.
Hi everyone, I'm Farron, also known as Fairbear. I will be playing Theodore Shadeson, your pretty much knocked out a battle master fighter. Our pronouns are she, her. And today I just want to plug a friend of mine who is trying to fundraise for some moving costs. She is unfortunately getting, due to some issues that are in the post that I'll drop in the chat. She is being forced out of her home, so she's disabled, queer, indigenous woman. So if you can provide any sort of help, that would be appreciated. And I will drop a link. Okay, just making sure that nobody else did it first. So that link's there with all of the information and where you can send money if you are able to. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Fair. And thank you. I was actually looking for that link, so I appreciate you grabbing it. Awesome. Let's jump over to April.
Hey, hello. Hi, friends. I'm April. You can find me all over the internet as April Raygun, and I play the Monkey Moon Fairy Aurea. I don't got anything for you today. That's all. That's it.
Amazing.
Move on, please. Someone else go. Please.
Robo,
Yeah.
save us, please.
Hi, it's me, RoboGoblin, and you can find me everywhere on the internet. Sure. Today I'm going to be playing Toby. Yes, Toby.
Yep, this is the correct one.
Yeah, this is the correct one, yes. And I do want to shout out that we're going to have a part of, so you think you might be trans panel on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, and Mental Lamia is going to moderate that, and so drop by. we're gonna have some giveaways and chat. So drop by and support trans folks.
Should be so you think you can trans, like so you think you can dance.
Yeah.
So you think
I was
trans?
That's what I thought you were
all I
doing.
thought, I was like, there's a dance party that I was not
dang.
invited to.
Robo
So
pulling
you
out all
think-
the stops. Okay.
But yeah,
Amazing. Thank you so much, Robo. And last but certainly not least, we have a one fin archer with us today.
What?
What? Is that who that is?
In this economy?
I was sitting here wondering. I didn't want to say anything.
Who's this fucking guy? Literally the words that met me when I signed in. I got the Zoom chat and Duval, who's this fucking
Who's this
guy?
fucking guy? Yeah,
I thought I was just hallucinating. I didn't want to say anything.
I love you. Anyways, I'm going to I can't do more than one thing at a time. You know this. I can't multitask my brain, Jordan. If you ask me something discreetly, I'm just gonna have to say out loud what I'm doing.
As you're not saying out loud what you're doing.
Because I'm gonna up my volume
There
right
you
now.
go.
There
Yeah.
you go. What an incredible
Well,
stall.
I had to preamble it because if I just said it out loud, I might offend someone, you know, because I thwarted your plans at subtlety. Thwarting plans at subtlety is one of my specialties as both Finn Archer in real life and Caldrix Darrock, who I play today. Got back on track, yes. I'm Finn, I play Cal, and all three of our pronouns are he, him, so.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Finn. So we do have a couple quick announcements before we dive in. First off, because hi, I'm a Take This ambassador, and there's a really cool thing that's happening starting on Monday, May 15th, and going through Wednesday, May 24th. There is an awesome apparel drive for Take This happening over on Idle Champions. So you can purchase some of the Champions of Psychology apparel. Pictured here is a wonderful little shirt. You can also get a hoodie, I believe. With that, you will also receive exclusive codes to claim goodies for both Idle Champions and Bushwhacker 2, which are two games that are under the Codename Entertainment banner. So keep an eye on socials as the link will be live on Monday where you can grab a hoodie or a shirt, and those proceeds will be helping out Take This, which is a fantastic cause. So there's some more stuff that will be announced, I believe, on Monday. So stay tuned for all the things, because yes. Yeah, oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you that, Robo. Yeah, there's some cool stuff happening. So, yay. Also, we are 3 patrons away from our all-familiar one-shots, so if you would like to have all the latest news, updates, including some sneak peeks to our upcoming merch and website, Sade just joined the merch squad with some designings of some things. I got to take a gander at some of the things that we'll be posting in the next couple of weeks.
Got a whole damn squad, Jordan? Shit.
Yeah, we got squad. So it's really, really cool. We also just put up there as of last week the Q&A that both Duval and I had discussing Weldor, and we've scheduled at this point everybody in the cast will be doing a Q&A, and that will be a Patreon exclusive. So if you want to support our cast, support what we do, and so that way we can do all the things, then please go and step on over to our Patreon and go check out all of us on the other socials like YouTube, TikTok, etc. We are going to also say a special thank you to Sphinx, Seven, Mama Strange, Fluffy Snowfall, Chris Gideon, Buzz Lightyear, and Lily42 for joining our Patreon. Thank you so much for your support. So, final announcement. Although we are excited and happy to have Finn back as Cal for today's episode, we are sad to announce that this will be Finn's last episode as part of the main cast. Finn will be stepping down after today to focus on some real-life things that are taking precedence at this time. Finn has been an integral part and a wonderful addition to this cast and story, and we are beyond grateful for everything he has given us and will give us. Finn and Cal will still be around behind the scenes of Ampistrano as part of our Lore Keeper team, as well as creating content for our Patreon and probably sending more chaos to the cast in terms of that. This is not the end of Cal's story. Cal still exists in this world and is part of what makes Ampistrano a rich and interesting setting. So keep an eye out. Cal may be back to guest and do further shenanigans along with Finn. So,
Yes.
yes, their shenanigans are already happening. So.
If you let me shenan once, best believe
We had to let you gan again.
I can't believe you finished that. I'm so proud.
And without further ado, let us go beyond the veil of Ampistrano.
Shenaniganin for all those Zelda
Ganon.
people out there. There you go.
She's just there napping in front of the window.
Oh,
So cute.
that's perfect.
Okay, don't go back. I'm also
I
going to show
love
you
you
my.
said that literally
yeah.
is 2 seconds left in the video, like I can pause it and make it go. Like
Yeah, Jordan, pause it.
No, just rerun
Yeah.
it.
Pause
Rerun the
the
whole thing.
internet.
there's nothing.
Use
I
your
can
fucking.
do.
Can
Anyways.
you make it loop? Just play again.
Wow,
Holy
Robo.
shit.
Wow.
Robo really came out.
Robo.
You have to read that out loud.
I'm proud
you
of
do.
you. Take a point of inspiration. Do it.
Wow. Wow.
Why?
But only if it's read out loud.
Yeah, correct. I feel like that's
Yeah.
fair.
That
That's
I
read
will
out
leave
loud.
that to Robo to do. That's
Then
No
everybody will
inspiration
not
unless
listen
he-
to
it's-
Nope. Nope, not saying that out loud.
no, that's okay. Robo still
If I-
take the point of
if I-
I
inspiration.
say it. Me and
If
Fair
I
on the
read it
same
out loud,
page.
can I get it?
Wait, yeah,
No.
say
Yes,
we
yes,
all.
Fair,
If
do it.
whoever reads it out loud, could they get inspiration?
Robo,
Let's
is
do
that
this.
okay with you?
Yes.
Okay, so Fair.
Okay.
If you read this out loud, everyone
ahead,
will get a
Fair.
point of inspiration. I can't
Everyone?
believe that
Are we
this
on-
is
Are we
where
back
we
on
are
stream?
at. Yes.
Are we
Fuck
back
yeah.
on stream right now?
We are.
we're
We've
totally-
been
Okay,
back.
Okay, hi,
We're
we're
live.
The
back.
whole time.
Okay. I don't have it up in front of me. I only have one fucking monitor. What do you want me to do?
I don't know.
Buy another one.
Jordan literally
Okay.
just said we were back.
I don't have buy another one money. Okay, if you have buy another one, feel free to send it my way.
Kofi.com. Anyway.
Okay.
What's your
Anyway,
Kofi? I
and
got
this is
$1.
what it was. This is what was written in the Zoom chat, and I quote: "I would like for Ganon Daddy to ram me like a gold Lionel."
Mhm.
Did I pronounce that one right?
Yeah. You,
Lionel.
did it. You nailed it.
Okay. Yay! Everyone gets inspiration,
Yay!
including Sparky, because he was here.
Yep.
Hey.
Sparky helped.
So,
All right. So, Lord.
chaos.
When last we left our adventurers, the group had arrived in Vibran to investigate a series of disappearances that had been occurring in the area. Weldor connected that the illness at Hope Farm with the dwarf Clara was the same thing that was happening here. After speaking with Eliza, one of the village leaders, she noted that she too had been infected, and many more had gone missing over the last few weeks since Weldor's disappearance. The group split, with Deodora and Oria going to chat with the local Crown's Guard, and instead finding Jeremy, someone from Deodora's past. After much discussion to a despondent Jeremy, Deodora ordered him to leave Vibran immediately. Meanwhile, Toby and Weldor talked about purpose and destiny and comparing themselves to their friends, while making tea and beginning dinner preparations. It wasn't long before Aurea, Deodora, and Eliza joined in for dinner, which was cut short as the cries of pain and panic pierced the evening mood. Vibrant had become emblazoned with several fireflies that seemed to set ablaze anything they touched. Villagers were running across platforms and planks as they fled or tried to assist. As thunder, lightning, and rain fell from above, the water around the village began to churn, as several white-tipped flowers with pink and purple seed pods began sprouting, changing into pincered humanoid creatures that began attacking anything and anyone. Appearing from the smoke, a large hulking creature lumbered forward. Weldor noticing after a few moments that this creature has the face of Levi Benir, a missing villager for the last few weeks. Jeremy, with rage and hatred in his eyes, also stepped in the fray, showing similar marks to Eliza and Clara, before transforming into a large crab-like creature that began rampaging. Thunder and lightning clapped, and a new entity appeared within the door of Weldor's home. Wearing long black robes and a horned skull mask, they grabbed onto Eliza and stared at Weldor, simply saying, "Good to finally meet you." They grabbed onto Eliza, Blackstone, who had been in a somewhat suspended state, came to with visions of a burning village and the feeling that they had been through this once before. The battle for Ryvern began as the parties fought to protect the villagers and heal as best as they could. The rogue figure disarmed Blackstone and after several tries, absconded with Eliza. Benir and Jeremy, along with the other flowers, were brought down, but not before paying the price, as both Weldor and Deodora dropped to unconsciousness. With the battle seemingly over, that is where we pick up for today. Lightning shatters the sky into pieces as rain continues to fall in sheets around all of you, thunder rumbling overhead. The smell of burning wood fills all of your senses, as crackles of fire can be heard as several buildings remain fully engulfed in the flames, not being put out by the rain around. Weldor and Deodora, before you come into consciousness, what do you experience what was essentially your last vision before unconsciousness claimed you?
Duval, please go first.
Chaos in the Zoom chat. I think his sort of like as Blackstone's arrow collides into what I believe was Jeremy Crab, and he sort of it explodes back onto the docks. And the last thing that I think before unconsciousness takes him is the thought that at the very least, like whoever this was didn't get to see that and didn't get to claim it as any sort of moral or satisfactory victory.
Sure.
And also, like, if this is it, he knew he did everything that he could.
Certainly. You feel yourself coming to with the rain kind of still hitting your face as it's falling around you. And you realize that you're currently partially being held up in the arms of a half-elven woman with dirty blonde hair, streaks of gray, pulled into a loose bun. It does take you a couple of moments, but you do recognize her. It is indeed Ophelia. She's at the moment placing leaves on portions of your shell and skin where the acid corroded parts of it. Rain is smattering her face, and you see that even though all of this is happening, the crinkling of the fire from several of the houses that are nearby and fully emblazoned. She is looking at you with like a slight smile. Her eyes are teary, wrinkled, and just a look of concern and relief as you come into consciousness. She does heal you for 5 points.
Oh.
Thought we lost you there.
Doesn't seem like it's my time yet.
Better not be.
Yeah. We got things to do. Thanks for the help.
No problem. And she'll help you up.
Yeah. You kind of lean on his spear opposite. Where's your husband at?
And you see her, she looks at the docks, the pylons that are kind of adjacent on that other path, more of an indirect route to Ignacio's house. And you see silhouetted amongst the smoke and the flames, two figures. You see what appears to be a figure that is on their hands and knees, staring, like fully kind of collapsed onto the ground, moving, but not seemingly doing great. And then next to that figure you see the silhouette of a black-haired human with gray kind of smattered through it. Both are wearing browns and green leathers that is covered in muck. And in the firelight, you can also see splotches of red.
Okay. Do I recognize that particular person?
You would. That's Hanover,
Okay.
her husband.
Okay.
And you would recognize the figure next to him on the ground. Caramel-haired half-elf, which would be Mira, their daughter.
And it kind of just does a quick sort of look around and sees the crab and the large sort of monstrous figure. And he'll make sure to cast Spare the Dying on both of them.
Okay.
And then, before we do anything else, come on over with me. I don't want them, because I don't know what's going to happen if this particular energy hits them. They might attack us again. And it'll kind of like have everybody move over.
Okay.
About 30 feet away or so, and he's gonna channel divinity, preserve life, slam his spear down, and this pulse of life energy emanates from them. And there's a total of 40 HP between everyone.
Okay.
And so math.
Um.
Just enough to get everybody out of danger that's within that area.
Certainly. You see at that point, because she kind of will lean you kind of up against the pier that you're on, and she like moves over. You can see like everything goes a little bit robotic with her, and she kind of gently leans down to kind of get Mira to get up, and you see her husband, Hanover, does like a slight jump when her hand kind of connects with his shoulder. And the both of them look like they've seen a ghost. The shock of everything is on their face. And Mira is full on crying. But will, with the help of Ophelia, kind of be pulled back beyond that radius, so that way following your direction, so to speak.
Sure. It might be time for us to share our mutual secret. Because if my hypothesis is right, we're not the only establishment that's in danger right now.
You think it wise to have this decision out here?
Not yet. Let's make sure and do a count, see where everybody's at first.
Right.
Make sure everybody's in ship shape. And if not, figure out what's next after that.
We're using the tavern in the inn as a med bay, so to speak. So,
Right.
You better go see your friends. I'll see what we can do on our end.
Right.
And she kind of is more leading the other two away.
Yeah. And kind of like as they like right before they leave, kind of grab them like on the like the lower arm. Glad you're all right.
They just kind of nod, not really saying anything. They're not giving you direct eye contact right now. they're here, but they're mentally worlds away.
Yep. And he's all business right now, so it's totally fine. As he walks away, he reaches into his component pouch and takes out this like small piece of fur and crushes it in his claws and closes his eyes. And what's interesting is like he's walked these walkways so many times, he doesn't need to know where he's going. And he's going to cast Locate Creature.
Okay.
And he's visualizing Eliza.
Interesting.
And if the creature is within 1,000 feet of me, and it's I sense the direction of the creature's location, as long as they're within 1,000 feet. And if the creature is moving, I know the direction of its movement.
Okay. I think for flavor's take, you begin casting that spell.
Yep.
And the camera kind of zooms in on the flames as you're doing this, as the camera is going to transition now to where through the flames on the other side of this juncture, Deodora, you are coming to consciousness. What would have been something that flitted through your mind as unconsciousness claimed you?
I think just a sense of relief that even though I got taken out, I basically took that creature out with me. And like that just was one less threat against the village before I went down.
You similarly come to with you feel a hand kind of supporting you, leaning you up against one of the pylons on the pier, seeing a very disheveled, very bloodied Ignacio holding a gloved hand just over your chest, and you see the leather is emitting this yellow and white faint light, and you can feel some of your wounds healing up a bit. You heal for 7 hit points total. You can see that his large hat is partially torn. The feather that he proudly was wearing completely singed, so it's just almost like a rat tail attached to this hat in terms of just how fried it is. He got out of that shop with literal seconds to spare before everything imploded on itself. And he's looking at you with a worried expression, but also trying to look around to make sure that at least this area is somewhat secure. You doing all right there?
I think Theodora has just like, it's when you wake up after like just a long night and maybe like not drinking, whatever, but you just like, you know, like the day before you just did not take care of your body, so you're like, you have like that pounding dehydration headache. I think she wakes up like that, just aching all over, headache, a little confused where she is, and just will like, I think instantly just try to sit up by herself. Like, yeah, is everything, where am I needed right now?
Right now, you just need to take it easy. And you see a pause as he starts to say, "Little ma'am," like he thinks better on it upon seeing you. It was perhaps going to say "little lady." Let's take it easy. You were really going through it. You're doing all right. Looks like you and your friends largely took care of everything, and you can look around you, and several of the buildings are still emblazoned. Some of the villagers, you can see, are trying to put it out, trying to use shaping of water to try to put out a lot of the flames. You can see a lot of very injured people are slowly being moved over to the tavern. In the distance, you can see kind of slightly silhouetted Weldor is talking to several individuals. Further ahead, slightly on a raised pillar, is you can see that there's Toby and Oria helping out a couple of villagers that are also injured. To the left, you can see Toby and Blackstone's on top of a house. Next to it, it's fully engulfed in flames.
Sorry.
Just kind of
like Batman.
yeah, kind of.
I'm over here perched on top of the tavern.
Yep, there. And
Where is she?
so you see that there's a lot kind of happening right now. No immediate danger. You're not getting any, no new enemies are appearing at this time.
Okay. I think knowing that and sort of having my look around, I will Theodora will shakily get up to her feet. Really, kid? Sorry.
You're fine.
Dog problems. Will slowly just get up to her feet on shaky legs and using her great sword to help her stand. Spits out the blood in her mouth and is like, okay, well, let's go regroup then.
And Ignacio will help you as you are. Where are you heading specifically?
I will head towards where I see Oria.
Okay. So further up, and I think that's perfect, where the camera will move ahead to where Oria and Toby are. You have those 4 villagers that you literally saved from the grass of those flowers. Looking very dazed, looking very out of it. Their arms are seem to be the main area that got a lot of the kind of lashings from either these thorns or something. So it looks like, honestly, someone took a blade and just slashed up their arms and their shoulders. Their clothes are torn partially in those areas. Blood's kind of slowly dripping down the sides. But they are looking at you with a bit of relief, but also shock that this has happened.
I'll look at Toby. Do you have this?
I think so.
Okay. And I'm gonna grab a bucket, just a random bucket. There's buckets everywhere on docks. And I'm gonna start helping put out the fires.
Okay.
From above.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start scooping out water and put it on roofs because I'm assuming people can't get there.
Yep. Definitely can do that. Why don't you do a...
Oh God, no.
Why don't you do a dex?
Save for the city.
No. A dex check to see how well you can kind of maneuver and how well you're kind of quelling against the flames with the water and stuff.
That button.
Is it raining right now?
Yes, it is still raining, but the rain is seemingly, it's helping to make sure that the flames don't spread, but it's still a lot of these buildings took a lot of direct hits. With a lot of the spells and things that were happening. So a lot of them are still engulfed. Yes.
21.
Okay. You are able to put out 2 of the houses nearest to where you are at.
Okay.
And also are kind of working on the boardwalk that's connecting to all the different platforms across Vibrant. Making some good headway. You can see that kind of following your lead, there's now a line of people that are passing buckets and trying to just put out as much as they can as this is happening. Oria, you would at this point see kind of, with a little bit of assistance with Ignacio, just kind of walking behind and hands outstretched in case Theodora does drop. You do see a injured Theodora moving in your direction as well.
Is there still flames around here?
Yes.
Okay. So, Toby's just gonna look up in the sky. His eyes turn teal, and he's gonna create and destroy water. So he's gonna create a cloud of that just raining down all over a 30-foot cube of flames.
Wonderful. It looks almost like a bunch of owlbears kind of sleeping in their dens, the clouds, and then it forms into it as it starts to spread. Rain now doubled, falling even harder. And you can see that several of the houses are starting to be put out with this effort. You also see Deodora moving in your direction. You would also, since you were focused towards the skies, see Blackstone standing on top of the tavern, kind of looking around, as well as you would also see a very stunned looking blue dragonborn who's just kind of wandering around aimlessly at this moment of just taking everything in, but also not at the same time. Just looking a bit dazed.
Oh, who's this? Me?
Yeah. So
Oh.
you would see both Blackstone and Cal.
Okay. So I'll go to Theodora.
Okay.
And cast just a little bit of healing spirit around her. So you're gonna get 12 hit points back.
Thank you. What does your healing spirit look like?
It's an owlbear, a wooden
Oh,
owlbear. Yeah. So I'll try to help Theodora, but actually I'm super little, so she can't really lean on me. So
She could. I don't have any rules against that. Like,
I'm a gnome.
so
I mean, but
she
if
could
you
use
were
your
an owlbear-
shoulders as something to lean on, especially if she's hunched over.
Okay, sure.
if you were an owlbear.
I don't have any more
Oh, yeah,
wild
that's-
shapes.
Fair.
So I'll do that and move the owlbear totem to where Cal and Blackstone are.
Okay.
And just go to them. Just how are you feeling? Wait. You're muted.
Sorry, my audio faculties weren't working. I was saying, I'm fine. Thank you for asking.
Cal?
Everywhere. We thought it was just in the city. And is there anywhere this isn't touching?
Well, right now it's touching here, so we're gonna need every help we can.
Right.
Can you manage that, Cal?
Of course. Right. And so Cal, kind of trying to piece himself together, will go to, I know that Oria's trying to douse some of the flames. Is there a nearby like structure that doesn't really have people in it? Because I've got this.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna cast Rhyme's Binding Ice to try to put out flames over here. I know
Okay.
that's not the normal use of this spell, but I also don't want any creatures to be nearby because they will get auto-targeted. And
Why don't you actually do a nature check for me, please?
will do. Oh, let's see. Let's see how these dice love me today. Really well. They like me a lot. That's a 22.
Ooh.
22? Perfect.
Yeah.
You get ready to cast the spell and you can hear the creakiness. The actual platforms themselves are still not completely stable.
Right.
So, a thought does enter your mind that perhaps casting ice might make this a little bit more difficult of a problem.
Right. It could make things more brittle
Correct.
and all folly downy.
So you certainly could, but that is a potential problem that could be a thing.
Okay. Well, then this this building that I was next to, is it are any of the buildings nearby unevacuated, I should say then?
I mean, quick perception check for me, please.
Will do. Yeah, horrible. So dazed. Just, that's a 2. And just still so, like, I think Toby's voice might be the first thing that has connected Cal to you're not just watching this, you're here.
Sure. You can tell that a lot of these buildings are pretty free, having a large kind of red marking on them which you would have heard in passing that those were families or people that had gone missing prior. It seems like there's a large conglomerate kind of gathering more towards the tavern. So you could certainly try to do whatever it is that you were trying to do.
Cal would have been trying to see if anyone was still in any of the buildings. Because his next move would be to vortex warp people out of them if they are there. And so he'll, on his way to where everyone's gathering, he double taps the spell book and, Cal, how are you now? Drix, it's finding you. Fair enough, good stuff. Drix, there's people hurting, and I just need to know where they are. Can you help me find them in the homes? Can you help me find anyone in the homes from here to the tavern? And you actually see Drix kind of flits off of the top of the spell book and ethereally passes through one exterior wall of a building and then the next, as Cal makes his way, and every time, Drix will pass through a wall and return. And if Drix returns to Cal with any notion that there's someone in one of the buildings, Cal will vortex warp them out of those.
Okay. You're able to, with some assistance, are able to move about 4 or 5 people that seems to have been trying to take shelter. Not the greatest of shelters, but had been trying to find anything in order to barricade themselves versus all of these creatures and things that were happening.
Okay, well, we'll basically pull them out,
Sure.
using several spell slots for that. But we'll pull them out and show them where everyone's gathering at the tavern.
Blackstone, you are seeing all of this happen. You're seeing, for the first time in a couple of weeks, it seems like Cal is present and aware of what's going on, is assisting with some folks. You see Weldor is talking with a small group of individuals. Toby and Oria are assisting the village and kind of helping out with all of that. Sorry, 1 second, Finn. It's picking up my captions, so it's doubling.
Well,
are you wearing headphones?
I'm not. Sorry. Oh, I'm gonna go.
That would be it. Go grab. All good. So you are seeing all of this happen. You are seeing a number of villagers are coming over to the tavern looking injured, looking in shock. Their entire worlds have just been rocked in the span of a few moments. What is it that you were doing during this time?
I've gone to the tavern, as I understand that it is the heart of a city, or at least of this one. And as such, I am going to try to commune with it and ask it to help. Specifically, if it can help with repairing structures. How do we make that do the things? I am going to go and literally hug the tree.
Okay. Okay. You hug the tree.
Okay. This is mostly just like I don't know if trees are telepaths or what have you. I don't know how that works. But I'm going to attempt to just talk to the tree as if it were like every other living being that I've run into. And what I'm going to say is, actually, hold on for a moment here. It seems like today has been a very difficult day, and the people that you care for are in danger. I would try to use my talents for repairing items, but the extent of that feature for me only works if the items are small, and the buildings that you have here are not small. So, would you be willing to help me repair the buildings for your people?
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check for me, please.
A persuasion. Let me go get the dramatic dice tower. You said persuasion?
Mm-hmm.
That is a total of 20.
Okay. Similarly with how you have connected with other beings before. Instead of a voice, this communicates with images, sights, and sounds. And for a moment, the city, the village of Vibran, its homes, all of it kind of fade away, and you actually get the full scope of this tree. It is what has been keeping Vibran afloat. You see the roots disappear into the dirt, and then flashes of it moving between pylons and roots to platforms, giving those added areas. And it is very much damaged. The connection is very weak, not only from physical, but from what you can tell, this tree is trying to tell you that on a spirit level, its soul has been very damaged by whatever has been going on here as well.
Mm-hmm.
It hears your call. It wants to answer, but it's unable to. Instead, you see in your head for a moment what appears to be a seed that's trying to sprout. You see like the little bit of green starting to dip out, and then it's being shoved back into the seed.
Can I see where that's happening? Or I guess rather, is this a physical place?
No, it was basically trying to give you a symbol of what's happening to it.
Okay. If, then I'm going to do the only thing that it seems to make sense to do. And I'm going to try to... I'm going to start with a tendril. I'm going to feed it just a tendril of spiritual energy and see what it does.
Okay, and how many spirit points are you wagering with this?
Because I want to see what it does with a small amount of them, I'm going to start with 3. I'm going to tell you right now, I am going to put like a massive amount of points in there if this ends up doing a good thing.
Okay. You can see 3 does assist, but you get the feeling that this tree needs a lot more, probably more than what you currently have on hand.
Okay, well...
And what does it look like as you were feeding it that kind of spirit, nectar, and energy as you are connecting on that level now in terms of... It's different when you have connected with Cal or with Theodora or anyone in your party. This is a being, a sentient being that's been around for a long time. You are coming to the realization that you are essentially a flea on its trunk in terms of its lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
but there's a familiarity with it.
Mm-hmm.
How are you connecting? What does it look like?
So when I try to connect with it, if someone were looking at me from the outside, I think I would, in like as I bond with the tree, start growing the types of leaves or berries or fruit that it does
Sure.
on like the surface of my skin. So you would be like leaves in my hair and running along like the parts of my arms and hands that you could see.
Sure.
Probably a patch of grass is growing under the spot where I stand, taller than usual. For the sake of what we're doing here, because it's one of those, I know that this needs help, and it's the smallest thing that I can do, and I figure at the very least the tree might be able to figure out where best to use it. It might be more than my current total, but it's what, as far as Blackstone is concerned, it's what Blackstone can do. So I am going to, we started with 3, right?
Correct.
I'm going to add another 17.
Okay. You had 17 more. Each point going in, you can actually, the grass spreads up, turning into moss on the trunk of the tree. And you can see that these small flowers are starting to bud as it's collecting this energy. You can feel around you as you and the tree are connected, everything is starting to stabilize slightly. The platforms aren't moving like a seesaw as much. There's still a bit of a uncertainty. You can still see that this thing needs more, but you have helped it a bit.
And I have an idea and a plan. So now I'm going to go away from the tree for a bit, and I'm going to go find the rest of the party.
Okay. You see, from where you were standing, you had a visual of everyone. So it's up to you on where you would go. As you walk to find one of your party members, we'll pan back to Weldor now as the spell is taking place. You see before you, Weldor, darkness. There's a bright light where you and Vibrant are. And you can see moving quickly to the northwest. A glimmering light as it's quickly moving beyond. At this point, it's a few hours out of the Vibrant. It's moving quickly. Not sure how it's moving this quickly, but it is moving quickly like fireflies in the wind. But you, at this point, have a general idea where they are. You've lived here for a long time.
It's what I fear. That direction.
Correct.
All right. And it's up to an hour, so I'll hold on to it.
Okay.
And just sort of like double, triple confirm and like see if it stops within the next hour.
It goes past the area you were concerned.
Oh, I don't know if that's better or worse. Okay.
Just so you know. Doesn't go too far past. It lasts an hour, you said?
Yeah.
Because we'll play it out where you are going to obviously meet up with the rest of the group. But for the sake of brevity, because I imagine this is going to be carrying through, it stops. And you actually, before the spell actually ends, it seems like it's cut off. About 1 to 2 hours away from that point of concern that you had. Again, further northwest.
Okay.
As At this point, Blackstone sidles up to you. You can see Aurea and Toby and Deodora are all moving about. You see the Dragonborn, who you have not made the acquaintance of yet, is also seemingly trying to assist in their own way of trying to not fix everything, but stop the bleed before it progresses.
I can't thank y'all enough.
I don't think there's anything to thank us for.
Well, don't get me wrong, it is it's not great. But without your assistance, it would have been worse. Far, far worse.
I think you misunderstand me. I meant that it's just what we needed to do.
Yeah. And like he makes a point to like make like eye contact with each and every one of you. Well,
Cal has
yeah.
moved to casting heal wounds on the few that he could see nearby, or cure wounds that the few that he could see nearby, and he's in the middle of healing one of the people that have gathered there, who seems a little bit worse for wear from the attack. And as you like scan the group, Cal doesn't look up, but Drix is just kind of doing this wave at you.
And remind me of the separation of the two.
Cal is the Dragonborn that you see,
Right.
but a minuscule kind of spectral version of Cal that kind of keeps home base on the spell book is just basically like a little holographic Cal is sitting there just waving at you. And as you pass over, he'll probably even goes, "Well, how are you now?"
Been better, been worse.
Well, that's more than fair. Seeing as your lot being going through quite a bit lately.
Yeah.
However, well, I've got Cal doing what he can over here to help out a few of them. Granted, he's been a little lost in himself recently, so apologies for not making your acquaintance earlier, but they call me Drix. I'm a book.
Well met, Drix the book. Weldor.
Good to know you, Eldor.
I'll kind of nod at the book. Not like fairly like nonplussed at that exchange. But if you don't mind me asking, I think I might have a lead on where Eliza and this whoever this was that seems to at least know me by name might be. Bit to the northwest, right, Jordan? Bit to the northwest. It's a couple hours from here. Before my spell was cut short. But of course we ourselves aren't looking quite so good. So and if I'm being honest with myself, I'd feel quite awful if I stepped away now. And also that would be likely pretty damn dangerous. So
Do you know this person?
no, but wouldn't be surprised if I made an enemy or five. But that of course would assume it's personal. And it may not be. After all, they could have taken me or taken Eliza right at the beginning. though I did detect they were quite unhappy with my interruptions of healing people and your interruptions of making sure they didn't get dragged away.
Welder, if you didn't do that, we probably wouldn't be here. So, thank you for that.
Thank
Kind
you.
of,
My
kind of
apologies.
slits. Oh, go ahead.
No, you should finish that
No,
first.
kind of eyes kind of slant over to Deodora. That's what we do.
It is indeed.
Just been a while for me, I suppose, since I've been tested in this way. Gonna be a sore
Didn't seem
morning.
like it.
I'll take that as the compliment that it is.
So Blackstone like pops up into the conversation, brushing leaves out of their face.
Love that.
My apologies, but I have, well, because unfortunately I didn't get to do very much in the battle except observe a bit. I have some questions to ask about my observations,
All right.
and I feel like they might be important to address before we. I believe you said you were going somewhere, possibly to follow the person who stepped into the portal.
Yeah.
Well, a couple of things. Sorry, these leaves are from the tree that grows behind the tavern, which seems to be, well, very connected to the city. It
Yeah.
seems that, I suppose in some way, it is the soul of the city, and it is in a rather desperate situation.
How do you mean desperate situation? Is it on its last legs? That would be mighty inconvenient.
Well, I suppose the quickest explanation I can give you would be, and you just see like everything playing fast forward of Blackstone walking up to the tree and hugging the tree, and then seeing the whole zoom out of the city and how far the roots of the trees go. And then you see bits of the tree trying to grow, then being suppressed. Like for Weldor and for Toby, both of you being as connected to nature as you are, you get the idea that there is something that's supposed to progress, like nature is supposed to be happening, but nature isn't happening.
As if we needed more troubling news at this point.
Could that be because, I mean, trees are very sensitive to all the energy around them, but could it be that right now we're in a very tight spot?
Well,
Almost as
I
if
did-
an answer to the scourge that just happened.
Well, it seems to be more of a spiritual thing, which I did not know that plants could have. I have learned a thing today. However, well, the tree is very old. It might be able to handle itself for a little bit, but if it is going to be, maybe I should probably start with an explanation that I asked the tree to help me fix the buildings, and it said it could not help me fix the buildings because it was not strong enough to help me fix the buildings, because I can only mend things that are about this size.
Right.
It's the same interruption of life that we've seen.
Right.
Yeah, this is like the same that happened when the flowers didn't bloom and back in the
Right.
cabin, right? Okay.
And so I try to feed it some energy to help. And if anybody's looking at Blackstone's eyes, they are gunmetal gray, which is to say, the most human you have seen them.
Gunmetal gray, and they're usually what color?
you know, like when all the like lights are on and magic is flowing and stuff, they're cobalt blue.
Cobalt blue. Okay. Cobalt.
I think no cobalt. I think like as Blackstone's like going through all this explanation, like showing us the video and whatnot. Deodora will turn to look at Weldor and say, "You said you weren't sure if this was personal or not?"
No, but it may not matter.
I think it does.
That was my second observation. I'm glad that you have brought that up.
What do you mean?
Well, he did say something to you before leaving, Weldor.
Yeah. But it could be one of many people. He mentioned not to, correct me if I'm wrong, Jordan, the specifics was
Looks like I'm taking another one of your
right.
friends.
Yeah.
Well, Weldor, I have some notes on who your friends are. And I have some notes on who your friends are, right? In the many days that we have talked about things, you have mentioned a couple of your friends, people that you have known for a very long time, like Deidre and Greenwich and Hithyweather.
Right.
Well, of that list of people, I only know one of them that would, that I think might fit this description. It is odd at the very least. This person seems to know your friends. Said they have taken another
He
friend.
puts a claw up. Let's not do this here.
Would you rather me use my inside voice instead?
And besides,
I think we should talk about this while we're healing up. But I do want to say one thing, and you said you weren't sure if it was personal, but what's more personal than attacking someone's home and splitting their attention so that they can't go save their friends if needed?
simple strategy.
But a very pointed strategy in this case.
You're not wrong.
Divide and conquer.
I suppose what I'm struggling with is I don't want to get too far ahead of myself emotionally. It's a good way to make mistakes.
But it's also a good way to ensure that you see something through.
He just smiles at you. And once again, you are correct. Come on, let's, after all, the gumbo's getting cold. And he walks out the tavern.
Is there any gumbo left, actually?
Plenty.
It's all left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing that stands.
So I understand. Are you heading towards your house, Weldor? Are you heading to the tavern, which is kind of the
Oh, I thought we were in the tavern. When we were
No,
having this
you all were
conversation.
still outside and hadn't.
Oh, I see.
walked, so that's why I was checking in real quick just to see where you were at.
he's gonna head home. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All of you follow along, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay. You do see that the door is partially blocked from the topaz blast that lies left. The crystal is still in place. You could climb through the window, which we've established is a rather large window instead. Just because this crystal is blocking the entirety of the door, and it is a very strong crystal. It doesn't look like it'll fade to dust or anything. It's there.
Oh, this is the same type of crystal we been experiencing, or is this a new crystal?
So this was, you saw flashes of it, Toby. Eliza had on her hand similar to what Sam has. Instead of it being an amethyst, it's a topaz.
Got it.
She's a jewel summoner, so she infuses her magic and it incorporates itself with these crystals that pop up. So it's not those crystals that, yes, you've been carrying in your bag and you've been dealing with that have been stealing magic, but more a representation of herself and the extension of her magic.
As he walks up, doesn't really say a word, cast spiritual weapon. This time it is a very large looking spectral green ice pick. And now I'm playing Minecraft.
Oh my
Hell
God.
yeah! Hell yeah! Robo entered the chat.
Oh God, who is this person?
Oh,
Okay. It
Well,
takes
like
a
I
few
know 'em.
moments, but you are able to break down the topaz. If you choose to collect it, because it is remaining, you can pick up several pounds of topaz. It's there. It was a large crater that kind of formed up as she was trying to separate herself from this robed individual.
in his mind, it's not going anywhere.
I'm going to
Yeah,
pick
you
up a
can.
bunch of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
he doesn't care.
Cal's gonna scoop some up as well.
Okay.
Just-
I
The
mean,
both
can
of
this
you-
be used as spell components?
It certainly can.
Oh.
You can certainly try. Why don't anyone that wants to collect, why don't you roll a D8 for me, please?
Hey.
Nice. 3.
3. Okay. You can
5.
get about 3 pounds of the topaz. Cal, 5.
6.
6 for Blackstone. Anybody else? There's not much left after.
No, it's fine. Theodora's not interested in it anyway.
Sure.
She crawled through the window as Welter was trying to destroy the topaz, and is now sort of licking her wounds and sort of just very matter of factly just patching herself up so that there's one less thing that she needs to do before she passes out.
Sure. And you still see the table is set, minus a few chairs that have been tipped over in the fight. The food is still on the table. It's like you all were literally just here.
My apologies for asking us to leave the outside of the tavern. There's some things that I don't know if I want others listening in on, just in case. Because I'm wondering a lot of things, actually. But first thing, there was a few folk that I didn't recognize in town today throughout the melee. Which is a bit odd considering I know pretty much every damn one and have for many, many years. So that's one thing, because it's possible that I wouldn't go so far as to say an inside job or anything like that, but contacts are contacts. And then as far as if you're all interested in continuing, someone we might pass by that it's been a pretty heavily guarded secret between a few of us that not many people here know about.
What do you
And
mean?
he reaches into his armor and let me pull up this item really fast just to make sure that I have it correctly.
It's the sign of the Freemasons. Waldor is part of the Illuminati.
And he takes out, he actually has two necklaces underneath. One and one sort of pops out by accident. And you see the outline of a large blue gem dragon scale. And the other that he holds on to is a small opal. And you see the dragon, the scale get quickly pushed back in.
Theodora just looks confused. Like, what?
There's a something called an oath of respect. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
No.
Or perhaps a town called Felk by chance?
Double check.
Oh.
That is the town that was the big element of the storytelling game, correct?
Yes.
That Cal
Where
played,
there was
yes.
was that the one with the fire? The fire genasi was the one telling the story.
Right. The town fell to ruin because they were trying to keep out
Yes.
a threat, and
Yes.
oof. So that Cal will speak up and like, all right, the city that fell to ruin, and left quite a mystery and a blank on the maps there.
Wasn't Belsarion from there? Am I remembering that correctly? I'm not remembering it correctly?
Blackstone at this moment is eerily silent.
Oh, okay. Sorry. This is me trying to remember because I don't have a memory, but I just remember there was something about hearing the name somewhere, the name Belsarion from somewhere in the Genora Wetlands. I couldn't remember if it was Felk or not. Okay. Carry on.
So, Eliza, myself, and Athea and Hanover, who I was speaking to a bit earlier before we met up, we've been holding on to a bit of a secret for a while. A secret that I'm going to entrust in you. This kind of looks to Cal, this thing that you mentioned having been destroyed. It looks actually about half a day's ride west from here, hidden. And as a matter of fact, this ancient society typically brings food and protection to Vibran, and has continued to do so for quite a while. They were also helping me with looking into remedies, and we're actually, before I went missing, we're going to check with me in a few.
So
Now,
so Felk wasn't annihilated.
no,
It's just hidden.
Right.
correct. And where this ties into our current situation is Eliza, I've been tracking for the last little bit, traveled right through there and to the northwest of it.
Hang on one second.
So-
April raised her hand first, so I want to get to April's
No.
thought.
No, I was raising my hand for April.
Perfect.
I was
April,
gonna
you
do it
had
in
your hand
character.
raised.
If this is a real place that's not destroyed, is it in my travel book or do I have a pamphlet?
That's not the question
my
I thought you were
God.
going to do.
Is this in my Ampistrano green book?
Yeah, is this in
My
the
passport.
Fairies Travel Book 101?
Why don't you roll a history check for me?
I'm so bad at that.
What? You shouldn't have asked that question then. I don't know what to tell you. I'm trying to help.
Damn.
Well,
Let
I
me
got
look
a
that up.
13.
Okay. Amongst your
Yeah, I need more pamphlets for Blackstone.
Sure.
You're looking up my fairies almanac.
Amongst your pamphlets and notes, you do come across a couple that mention Felk, but it's not placed on a map anywhere. Unfortunately. I apologize. So do with that what you will, kind of thing.
So, Belsarian, oh, sorry. Let me back up. The person who the person who took Eliza, you think that they passed that place? You're muted. Or did you get punched in the throat? Your vocal cords aren't working.
Anyway, I believe so. Yes. At least it's looking that way.
Do you think there's been trouble there?
That's what I'm afraid of. Typically, few of us have contact at least every few days to check in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, I've only been back for less than a day.
It's been like 3 hours and we've already gotten into a fight.
Right. That's the other thing that's bothering me. And I said that to this person. Why'd you wait for me to come back? But Theodore, to your point, maybe it is personal. They also didn't know if I was ever coming back.
I think they would have known where to find you.
I don't think that they would have known, because they would have just probably destroyed you in your moment of vulnerability.
Certainly.
So I guess that means that they've either been watching this town or had somebody watch it for them, and
exactly,
they were told when you came back, because they attacked literally a couple hours after your return. The timing is too coincidental.
Well, to be fair, Theodora, they could have, considering the state of the town, probably used whatever amount of power they wanted to use to fight Weldor to the death here at a vulnerable time if they wanted to, but they also did not do that. I'm curious as to why. But there is also that concern that I started to raise earlier. Would you like to hear the rest of that now?
Oh, about the tree?
Well, no.
Oh, about what they said.
Right.
About what they said. There are people that you have introduced as your friend.
Right.
And so far, only one of them is missing, so to speak.
Well, to be fair, there are many families that I consider my friends that are also missing. So he could have been mentioning anybody. So I suppose the question is, who was this person referring to?
We're just gonna have to find out then.
So
Do you trust every? Sorry.
No, so this Felk where they pass by or pass through, maybe. Does it have guards or anything against Scryan that could have stopped your spell when you were tracking them earlier? Or do you think?
Jordan,
or do you think that this captor is blocking you?
Jordan,
Yes.
if you would, can I roll a history check for knowledge on that civilization and how the city is structured?
Sure. You can certainly.
Come on, history. I'm gonna leave that where it is for now. That is an 11.
You remember the book that Deidre showed you, and that there were a few paragraphs on it. It didn't go into great detail, but what you were able to tell is that it was a civilization that was very much fortified. That's part of the reason there's such shock that is rumored to have fallen to ruin. So I'll give you that at least, based off of that knowledge.
Okay.
To Cal's question, matter of fact, anytime I've had to go to Felk, I'm typically escorted by a few folk. These two half-elf twins by the names of Salvinia and Tussle. So, and they are just as good as fighters as you all are. So,
So that's probably confirmation there. Your spell cutting off there could be confirmation that they went into Felk, and that's exactly where they're staying.
but that's just it. The cutoff wasn't in Felk. It was past it. Past it to the northwest.
They didn't stop in Felk, they kept going.
Correct. So, to your point, likely the assumption is it's some sort of hideout with perhaps an anti-magic field of some sort. Or he caught on to what I was doing.
Should we? Hate to ask this, but if we stay here and rest, are we gonna lose them?
That's the risk.
I think the problem is that we've kind of already have. They teleported away. There's no real tracking them by physical means.
Unless we pick up where we lost them.
Yeah.
Or unless we use these topaz.
And how would you use this topaz?
Well, these aren't just things that naturally grow out of the earth, right? These are infused.
Certainly.
These are infused with basically the essence of who Eliza is. It's a function of her natural magic. And so perhaps we can use the energy that is latent here to find out where she might be or where she could have gone. Kind of like a homing beacon.
What is a homing beacon?
Well, it'd be like a tracker.
Imagine
or
a
a trace.
really tall building or a device that glows with a really bright light that helps you find other things.
I just use my senses to do that.
Okay, well,
Some
a homing
and
beacon is like very strong
some-
perfume.
Well, I will say this. As concerned as we are that we might lose them, I don't have anything left to give.
Yes, that's.
I pretty much died like twice.
Yeah.
So I need rest regardless. And if we were to go out there now, we wouldn't make it.
And I
Not
think
pretty
it
nice.
might also be wise to say if any of us went individually, we also might meet unfortunate ends.
Sounds like there's a decision then.
I'm sorry, but I know everyone's, without saying it out loud, decided that the next course of action upon Waken is to take up the hunt. But if you be so kind as to grant me this grace, I'm powerful frightened. I don't know how, and not for myself, but for how far this is going. At every turn, I was at least entertaining the idea that whatever schemes or treachery is brewing and hurting these people, it was contained. It was contained in Illipin. It was contained in Vibran. Maybe its source is Felk and we finally found it, but no, it's not the case at all. I'm worried that I'm worried that the world is running out of safe places to be, and doing so at an alarming rate.
That's assuming that there was ever a safe place to be.
Oh, shrewd acknowledgement of my own fantasies, I'm sure.
No. Places are safe because people put in the work to make them safe. There are safe places out there.
Well, if you don't judge me harshly for it, I think there's one safe place that I need to go make sure is still that way. I worry that I haven't sent reports in any kind of satisfactory way back to my family, and something still doesn't seem right about Illipin either. Something that to chase one evil we might have left another one behind to fester. So I don't mean to leave you, but I think for a time I might need to leave you. I might need to go home. I might need to see if any of this is brewing there first. Just out of my fears there. No offense to you, no lack of care for your own Eliza, but having known that our own home has come under attack more than once before my time, I feel like they'd like some warning if it's going to happen again. And I might even need to circle back to see if we left anything in the city undone or untested, uninvestigated, because we might need to know from an outsider's point of view just what's transpiring there at the first place that this force decided to rear its head. What I mean to say is, what he means to say is, there's probably a better job for him, and it's not here fighting and getting clobbered and clapped all the livelong day. So,
Yeah.
Cal would like for you to know, don't worry, Cal, it's all right. Cal would like for you to know that if he can't be here for you, he'd like to be there for you.
I closed the book. No, I'm kidding.
Shut the fuck up, Drix.
Cal's a big boy.
Is
He
it
can talk
about you,
himself.
book?
Yes.
You're just a book.
Well,
Oh.
Cal, I think that's a noble cause to take up. To be the person who makes sure that the things that we clean up stay that way. And to warn other people that they might be in danger, because places like this get often overlooked and then tragedy strikes. I think if you think it's a good idea, if you like it, I love it. No, I'm kidding. No, but it's like I think there are many different ways to what I guess they call us adventurers. I don't really know, but there's multiple ways of being that, and sometimes it's not being out in the field getting your hands dirty. Sometimes it is being someplace and making sure things are settled the way that they need to be.
Well, I appreciate your kind words, Theodora, and I don't mean to give off more of a selfless air than I deserve. Yeah, I fully admit my fear is coming from a bit of a selfish place, but if you'd grant me that. Welder, you saw people who you love and care for taken completely unawares. I can't see that look on my dad's face.
It's not
Stan.
selfish to care for other people, Cal.
Oh,
There's nothing wrong with being scared.
I don't mean to.
It-
Don't mean to say that I want to protect my family more than yours, but
We're not.
Oh.
I like hold my hand up. Was like, oh, maybe we should let the book talk. No, okay. no.
just a big snoop boop. You are muted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cal,
Muted.
Cal,
Silence.
literally, no one is saying that. You're allowed to care about multiple people and want them to be safe, but I mean, we're out here, and you know what we're capable of, but you also know that we know things that other people don't. That doesn't mean you're valuing one party over the other. It means that one party doesn't have all the information and can't work with that information to keep themselves safe. And so that's what you're going to be doing, is helping others to keep themselves safe. And it's okay to be afraid. I think there's nothing wrong with being afraid, as long as you're able to, well, let me think about how I want to say this. There's nothing wrong with fear. Fear can be a powerful motivator one way or another, but fear is what also keeps you alive, but also keeps you curious, I guess. I mean, we always fear what we don't understand, but that drives us to want to understand it, right?
In many
Spinning
cases.
wheel in the corner. Cal will remember that.
that
That got real for Cal. Yeah, you see that. You see those words really nailed, like on Cal's face. You see those words hit home. Just now.
Logically, this is sound. I also do not want you to.
Those are
You
not
don't want to
mutually
what?
exclusive.
I think you need to go where you know and feel that you will be able to help people. And then there's nothing wrong with that. And you'll still be helping us, just in a different way.
Of course, I'll still send Kyra your way whenever I know something new, and if I find anything useful for you, you know, I'd rather warn you that something's coming than have you caught unawares as well. Just, I feel like what we did in Illipin, it can't be for nothing. We can't leave it undone. Or unfinished, rather.
If that's where you feel you need to be, then by all means, we'll always be here for you, Cal. We'll always be connected. I just tap my what was it that I made for y'all? The friendship
Our
bracelet.
Our friendship bracelets.
And which, by the way, what is your favorite flower?
Near my home, we had orchids growing near the stream.
Orchids. Okay. And I just druid craft another friendship bracelet and just give it to you. We'll always be connected, Cal.
We all hold up. We all hold up our friendship bracelets.
Welder just smiles.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind.
Sorry.
ADHD. No, it's fine.
I hold you to all of those things, Caldric Darog.
I hear you. And I will gladly be held to it.
Do you mean to head out now?
Oh, I wouldn't say no to a sleep. However, I felt it would be felt it'd be wrong to get halfway down the road on a hunt and tell you that I intended to cross to break paths.
Yeah, it's also like the dead of night, so I don't think he should be going anywhere.
You're not
But
wrong.
also, Cal, I think one of the problems in this world is that people will do things and not ensure that they're still okay. And so to go back and make sure that things are still okay is a good thing. Because otherwise, I mean, a lot of people go and they think that they've solved a problem, but they don't really stay to ensure that any gaps are filled in. And maybe that's why a lot of the world is the way that it is right now.
You're as wise as you are strong, Deodora.
Oh, that reminds me, you do have a certain conversation that you left unattended. You should probably go and wrap that up too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. It's so fucking messy. This is me out of character talking.
Yeah, me
The
too.
fucking
I'm sorry,
mess.
Robo with a
That was Robo, not Toby.
Work.
No, that was Toby. And as soon as Cal's distracted, I punch him in the arm.
Oh, okay. All right.
See,
Now
that's why we can't. See, that's why we can't let him go. It's like
better keep
leave,
that up.
go back in the middle of the night.
That's well deserved.
Well, just in case you set off early in the morning before we get out of here, I have a question that's been on my mind in regards to you.
All right.
Your ancestry.
Oh yeah. Mostly sapphire, but emerald on my mother's side.
Really?
Right. Yeah. You know, nomads. We tend to go where the path leads us, except for my dad.
What was your dad's name?
Oh, it's been so long since I brought up dad.
Papa
Okay.
Cal.
Yep. Papa Cal. Oh God, I haven't had to use that name ever since I wrote that backstory.
well, there's like trick question. I'm your dad.
Oh shit!
He's actually a dragon
Oh,
turtle.
my
He's been a dragon turtle this whole time.
Oh my god, that would be so funny.
Your dad's the
Oh.
big bad?
Amazing.
Oh no. No. Father's he's the miller of our town. His name's Grevla.
What are your granddad?
Oh my
Oh,
god, Wilder, you can just ask that.
You seem to be very pointed with the questions here, but
Cal pulls out a family tree. It's Weldor as his granddad.
Well, there's a reason.
The book knows.
Yeah.
Granddad. Oh yeah, he's in Emerald. He's still wandering about, roustabout, as far as I know. Man by the name of, or dragon by the name of Reister.
That ring a bell, Jordan?
Oof. Okay.
He takes the necklace off,
Killed your dad.
looks at the scale. Seems your granddad's been keeping an eye on you.
Well, how's Granddad been?
It's been a while. Good 50, 60 years or so. But he did tell me that make sure to give this to someone special. And he tosses you the necklace.
I catch it.
And then eat it.
I
wait,
eat
no,
it.
wait.
Do I become part Dragonborn? Do I get a breath weapon now?
You do.
You feel this building up in your chest. No, I'm kidding.
Now
And
you get the dubstep scream. Anyways.
as it were in the air, it there's like a flash of emerald light from it, and then it feels like as you catch it, it feels warm to the touch.
But
anytime you walked by, there was a glow coming from it. Figured I'd find out why.
But Das says he just retired into the mountain. He didn't travel. He didn't travel this far down. I didn't.
He didn't, but I did. As well as Red Witch, and as well as I'm said Deodora. Surprise! No. As well as Deidre. Matter of fact, Penny as well.
Gonna have to go dig up that corpse real quick, get that scale back.
I don't know if you're into the fates, but perhaps it was for us to meet and for that to happen.
Oh, Dal want to know that. Dal want to know that for sure. Could I write you? Do you mind?
Of course.
I have so many questions, and I know you have to be off. You have to find your friend, but you knew Granda. I mean, okay, so that's fine. That's fine. Everything's going to be fine. Oh, I can't. Thank you. I can't thank you enough.
Don't forget, wherever you go, you'll always be a friend of Vibran. You'll always be a friend of me.
And me.
And me. Sorry.
And me
And
too.
my
Are we
bone.
going to
I was waiting for it. It was right there.
I'm just going to, like, I don't respond out loud. I just hand Corbin to Cal.
Aw.
And, like, holding the scale in one hand and the mouse in the other. It's just
Corbin will kind of crawl up your shoulder.
mhm.
Scarf. The mask is kind of pulled to the side. And you see is kind of has the fan out. Has not been appreciated this humidity in any way, shape, or form, especially today with
God.
the flames.
He's
And
such a southern lady right now.
you see, and
Catching
what
the
color
vapors.
eyes does Corbin have, Blackstone?
They're brown.
They're brown. It's like pebbles in the water, and you can see that there is a small kind of tear that's gathering. Even though he has this very diva kind of exterior, he does seem to be picking up what is happening, and there are tears that have kind of gathered.
Just two fingers. He'll kind of at the top of his head and down
He'll
his
smack
back.
you as soon as you try to pet him on the top of the
Okay.
head for
Oh
messing up
my
his hair.
God.
Well, hair and also the
Wow.
accessories. Because
The
he's absolutely
accessories.
wearing a
The
hood.
But then he gives like
audacity.
this little tap with his paws of just like,
No.
it's
Yeah, not right now.
Oh, sure, of course.
And Toby's like, it's just so emotional, yo. Like, okay, group hug. And trying to.
Oh my God.
I'm having Blackstone is having a moment of internal struggle because Blackstone knows they're about to go into things that are dangerous and that Cal is leaving. And as sad as it makes him, Corbin is also like kind of important as far as their bond goes. And it's just like, should I take Corbin with me into danger, or should I also send Corbin back with Cal to keep Corbin safe?
Oh.
You know, Corpus gonna beat your ass.
Those are
I'm
He
just
already
saying.
tried to fight
Don't-
you once when you were like, yo, you go. He already bit you. You want to invite that again?
He has expertise with that fucking fan, so he's gonna beat your ass.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, he has to catch me first. The first time I told him, I didn't. I might have to lie.
He's a very
Sneak
perceptive
attack.
mouse. I'm just gonna say.
I don't know
I
how
don't,
successful
I
you're
don't
gonna be
need
white fanging him.
Corbin chasing us down through all of Ampistrano to murder us at the end.
Corbin's
to
gonna be the
big
new
bad
bad
first
Corbin, my man.
abandonment.
Corbin is the BBG.
You left me.
And I'd be like, it was that motherfucker.
You're tearing this
Yeah,
family up.
It's got nothing to do with me.
Blackstone did it.
I don't know
That
if you read Narnia, but sometimes a mouse can fuck you up. Just
I
saying.
can. And Corbin
Blackstone did
will
it.
kind of tap you very lightly on the cheek and then start kind of wandering over back towards Blackstone.
You watch after him now. Talking to Corbin, not Blackstone.
You see this little fan wave of recognition as he goes back to his post.
I think that's the first time that like Waldor has seen Corbin, so I think he's just like
Oh, he's been out and about. He's just, for whatever reason,
the
he's been
the
shy
fan
of-
is like okay.
He's a
What
very
is going on?
fashionable mouse.
I see.
Very.
If I catch Weldor making those facial expressions, I just say, "I'll explain later."
You know what? Don't worry about it.
After the hug. So can we finish eating now? You're not going to leave until the morning. And food would be really lovely. Staring at the perfectly laid table of gumbo, just waiting.
I'm surprised. Hold up, time out, because I'm really surprised Oreo just sat there and waited to ask. Like, Deodora has like a bowl. Like this whole conversation, she's
Oh,
been
you've been
It's
eating.
mid-bowl.
Okay.
It's mid
For some
gumbo,
reason,
yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
we weren't eating yet, and Oria's just
Oh,
sitting
no.
there like,
Oh. Have you known
No.
Deodora to ignore a plate of food?
As
No.
soon as the words "I need to tell you something" comes out, Deodora just
Yeah.
The
just
second they
sits
came,
here.
the second she crawled through that window, passed herself up, there was a bowl of gumbo in her lap. Just,
As a matter of fact, Waldor will look at Cal. Don't forget to pack you a few to go. Plenty of etouffee over there. Maybe an ale or two for the road.
More than kind of you.
And
That's
with,
what we do.
and with that, a meal is had. Memories are shared. And the bonds are renewed. As evening settles around and the healing process begins, but there is still much more work to do ahead of all of you. And as the candles slowly die out and rest is given, that is where we're going to take our break. And we are unfortunately going to be saying goodbye to Finn and Cal.
Love you,
We
Finn!
love
love
you.
you, Finn.
I love you.
Great job.
Like we
We
said,
finally got to
also,
play
I mean-
for like 5 seconds. Yay!
I mean, can't say goodbye because now you're going to be in our DMs forever talking about Ampistrano stuff.
Oh,
True.
no. It's
Finn
gonna be
is part
happening.
of the Lore Keeper team.
Popping
And we're
off.
doing stuff with our Patreon, and Cal will be back in some proximity. We're also going to say goodbye to April for today. April will be back with us next week. But April has to run because they have a thing. So
Yeah, she's actually the real big bad, remember?
That's
So
true.
she's got to go
Oh,
do plan
fuck.
and
and I'm coming to your house to end you.
shit.
Oh,
Yes.
shit.
There you go.
Me personally?
So,
Damn.
Yes,
we
I'm just gonna
see-
one at a time. The Ampistrano World Tour.
Just
Lord. So
Okay, well, just make sure you never get my address. Oh, fuck, you have it. God damn
I
it.
already have it.
yep.
with that, we're going to take
Well,
about
bring
I have
that
yours,
fan
so whatever. Revenge.
we're gonna-
Yo.
We're going to take a 10-minute break while we reset a little bit. I encourage all of you to hydrate, get up and stretch, and we'll be back in just a little bit. See you all shortly.
Pick up your gear and open your chests. Throw on your armor and head out on a quest. Hey, hey. It's a brand new day. On the Sword Coast, your allies will help with blades and bows and magic as well. Hey, hey. Heroes on their way. Fighting together against overwhelming odds. Fighting together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the forgotten realms. Idle champions, adventure never ends. Idle champions, get your wall and there. Idle champions, you will say it again. Idle champions.
Easy to.
I'm bored.
We can go scream at the cat for another hour.
Nah, I'm tired of screaming at the cat.
Shut up with that! Be bored no more with 1985 games. Enjoy their vast variety of products and help bring your tabletop to a whole new level. With easy-to-use dungeon sticky notes. The deck of stories holds prompts and adventure hooks for any setting, and thousands of cutout game pieces with their dungeon craft.
You've come all this way for nothing, fool! The princess is mine! You'll never get away with this, Malachor!
Write everything down in your Hero Notes journal and start your adventure today! Visit the World Wide Web address 1985games.com and find many helpful products such as their Dungeon Craft series, battle maps, deck of stories, miniatures, dungeon notes, and now VHS dice. Again, that's 1985games.com.
It's almost like when you smell something baking in the kitchen. It's the identity of this cheesecake again. Okay.
Okay, so
it's just kind of slowly wafting up, and you
basically-
see it has like a hole in it. The soul of the cheesecake has been hurt, essentially. That's what it is. Like,
Okay,
you just
so-
hurt the soul of the cheesecake.
Like, I feel like what we have coming out of here is like the literal.
And we are back. Hello, everyone.
And that's why I think you
Thanks.
should be level 8, actually.
So just
Speak
skip level
for yourself.
7
Yeah.
completely. Got it. 100%
Yeah.
sure.
Because I'm
sure.
level 8.
Okay, I could take away a level if you could tease them like that. Like, listen.
I've teased them before. It's fine. Don't get me.
Mm-mm.
De-level
Anyways.
him.
Oh, level 9? Sure,
like,
no
"Come
problem.
on."
Because today's opposite day.
Anyways.
Oh my god.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I hope you were able to get up, stretch, move around, do all the things that need to be done. We've had a very emotional episode, but we are going to get right on into it. So if you all are ready.
Into it.
Sure, Duval. 100%.
That's what you said.
Into it. Very
Into
impressive.
it?
Yep. Okay. So we will pick up with this one works. Sure. All of you rest for the evening. When you awaken the next morning, you find several pieces of parchment have been laid out on the table. And there is a rough sketch of each of you. And then in a very familiar scrawl for some of you at the bottom, whether you can read it or not, you do recognize it as Cal's signature at the bottom. His bags are gone. He seemingly has gotten up before anybody else, just before dawn, and headed down the road to wherever adventure or checking in lies ahead for him, as the rest of you slowly come to consciousness, and do have the benefits of a long rest, so it is said on the record with that. The village is quiet. It's cloudy, but not in the blankets of clouds that you've seen the last few weeks traveling through the Genora wetlands and moving about. There are blankets of these words just gave up for a second. I apologize. Let's try that again. There are small clusters of clouds that are slowly moving in the wind. The rain has stopped. Lightning and thunder have also stopped. The sun, you can see, is shining. And there's a gentle breeze that's keeping the humidity at bay at this time. But it's also with this that you can see the full damage of what's been done to this place. Nobody's walking around. The big building that was once Ignacio's shop is gone. Several buildings are charred. Others are just kindling. And you do see every so often the door of the tavern, since you do have a great view from Weldor's house. Every so often peek open and someone kind of taking a look around before it shutting again and the individual going back inside. All of you are left to your own devices. Blackstone. In the evening, as you were mulling about Felk a bit more, what was it that you were trying to search for in that conversation?
My memories of the city, how it's structured, and what kind of protections it has.
Sure. You know that it was fortified. This was not... It's interesting because this isn't something that you remember completely from the books that Deidre, I keep doing it. Deidre.
Did it earlier. It's your turn, that's all.
Okay, Deidre Dora.
Deidre showed you. The blueprints of the city doesn't come to mind, but images of faces do. You see that same yellow spectral individual that's been ever so often sneering you and trying to assist, but also protect from afar. You see those smaller individuals going back to the memory of all of you seemingly playing. Perhaps you asked your memory the incorrect question or weren't specific enough, as the blueprints of the city is lost on you in terms of its actual structure. But the individuals, those blueprints are imprinted on your memory, even if you don't have complete access to them yet. You know that it was a very fortified city, not in the fact of only its guards and seekers that kept everything safe, but the magics, the perfect blending of the archaic, the spiritual that you yourself are still learning and having those moments with, and how it can perfectly meld with nature magic. If it is perhaps being rumored as being lost, that doesn't necessarily mean that it is gone. And some remedy, some fraction of this civilization may yet still be there. The full strength of it, that's hard to tell. And even that, some of it is blocked off from your memories. But you do feel a sense of slight relief from this spectral figure that's been kind of around you and hovering around your presence as dawn has approached.
Weldor is actually, for the first time since you've known him, is not wearing his green plate armor, wearing kind of a very like soft looking sort of like almost like the consistency of like a loose like dress shirt, and as he's kind of putting it on after getting up, you see the outline of his like chest and his shoulders that are covered in slashing scars. And as he slips it on, you see like a rib that like is like in the wrong place, like it should not be that way at all, and puts on and along with kind of a pair of green jungle green like slacks.
Is that from the recent battle, or is like
if you look at it closely?
I'm gonna ask you that. And
yeah,
so
it looks like very old, incredibly old.
Okay. Is that from the recent battle?
Nah, I was probably about 42, 45, somewhere in there, years ago. Me and oh man, this Thieves Guild general, if you will, went by the Man in Purple. He was a hell of a swordsman. Got me pretty damn good. He had this weapon that anytime you got hit with it, any sort of healing magic didn't seem to work. So just kind of pokes at it a little bit, and it's quite clever if it's not completely awful.
Oh.
But after a while, I got the best of him.
How are you feeling, Welder?
I'm tired. I'm damn tired. Bit sad, but resolved, because we got a job to do today.
All right. Speaking of jobs to do, do summon me after breakfast, and then I walk out of the house.
Where you headed?
To do the small things that I do best.
Are you headed to the tavern by chance?
I can if you wish.
Well, that's where I was about to head to. I really should have checked in before I headed to bed. Exhaustion sort of set in, so.
Well, that's understandable. Sleep and rest is a thing that you need, but also, if I'm not mistaken, you also need food and other sustenance. Shouldn't you do that first before going out?
I have a travel mug. Don't worry.
I got a Tupperware.
Anyone like anything for breakfast? Otherwise, we got gumbo for the morning.
Sure.
Oh, I don't care.
I would, perhaps a small bowl of this, because I feel like it would be criminal otherwise. A small bowl for Corbin. A very small bowl.
All right. They can eat gumbo.
I will let Corbin speak for himself on that subject. And I just pull out Corbin and just put him at like eye level to Weldor.
Corbin has immediately, the fan is kind of sticking out of his hood at this time, and you see that he has this small acorn where the top has been pulled off.
Oh my!
And it's hollowed out.
No! Stop
Shut
it!
up!
Stop it! And he just looks.
Okay.
Some gumbo, please.
Okay, but here's the question. The question is that can he have gumbo? It's should he have gumbo?
That's up to Blackstone.
I'm a little concerned for his
And
gut.
Dewey's sausage might take him right out.
Yeah. just one speck of cayenne pepper, and he's down
That's
to the
it.
count.
Done. Game over,
Well,
man.
wait, here's the thing. Like, for Blackstone, right? He's like aware that there are things that creatures normally eat, but that's just because that's what's available. It hasn't occurred to him at all that it's just like there are things that they literally cannot have. So,
Oh my god.
So he'll-
Roll
Jeez.
death saves for Corbin.
No.
All right.
I'm kidding.
He'll look at Corbin.
Constitution saves.
I know, right?
I hate it here. Don't do that. And I'll
See,
hold the acorn out.
Yeah. See you already, but did you was it gumbo that you wanted, or we do still have some etouffee and jambalaya, if that's more your preference?
You see, he holds it to his side, and he seems to be gesturing behind you, and where I'm sure wrapped is the other stuff too.
Yeah.
And you see he pulls out a leaf that could be a napkin, it could be a plate, for him to have to kind of. He's doing the party grab of when you go to the barbecue and you got multiple plates and things going. Yeah.
He's like a buffet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
He just looks at clearly you've been to a cookout before.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, little mouse cookout.
Oh.
I'm more blown away that you can communicate.
Uh-huh.
Amazing. And he'll try to create a small, like a spoonful, and just like
I imagine you're doing the thing of like this.
It's got big ass claws, so it's like just like a chemistry experiment. Like
what I picture, actually, if you allow me.
Yeah, please.
Weldor will gets like a little bit on his claw and then slowly drips it. You know how you kind of, if you're at the beach, like the dribble castles or whatever, where you let the water and the sand mix together. It's the little bit of the gumbo just right into the acorn.
I have no idea what you're talking about, so I'm googling.
Lord.
And so as he does that, his his face sort of goes back to a bit of a frown. Let's see if we can walk, talk, and eat. We need to check in with a few folks.
I'll have, I suppose, a small bit of food, but I'm sustained more by purpose than by produce, as it were. That being said, knowing what gumbo should taste like will be helpful when I decide to make some.
Oh, yeah. I suppose you didn't have any last night, huh?
No.
Well, let's go ahead and spoon you up some then. Always over rice. Always.
Theodore's watching this like, I know I'm gonna be eating that food.
And he'll pour it up. Pour up a bowl, like a row of like 6 bowls, 7 bowls, for later on if folks want seconds. And actually, he'll probably take the time to box it all up, and bring the leftovers to the tavern.
Okay. Are all of you heading towards the tavern? Where are you heading, Blackstone?
I'm just heading in the city in an indiscriminate direction, and my whole day while we're here is mending.
Okay. All of you will see Blackstone kind of moving about, and what does it look like as you're mending?
Like, almost casual because it's a cantrip, right? So it'll be things like walking by and while people are talking, fixing bits of broken sign, repairing a doorknob, like fixing a bit of like the pier around the city as I'm doing stuff. It's just a whole bunch of small things. And what you see is just a lot of me saying, like, I guess whatever word, and I haven't thought about it yet, whatever word I use for that spell, and just stuff flying together back into its proper place. Kind of like that scene out of Mary Poppins with the room cleaning.
Sure. If you want to roll a d20 one time to see how many spirit points you gain back today. Okay. For those of you that are watching at home. So spirit points do not get replenished with a long rest. They have to do an activity that they find relaxing and is more of a hobby. It can be anything from mending to playing with a blink dog. But they get to have one opportunity each day where they get to roll a d20 and try to see if they can get some of those points back. What did you get?
I got an 18.
Very nice. You feel slightly more rejuvenated than you were yesterday. A little bit more sure of yourself. You gave a lot of yourself to the tree to try to help out the village.
And I would do it again, but I might end up asking the town to do that instead. But more on that at 5.
The camera will follow. Are the rest of you going with Weldor towards the tavern?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay.
There's 2 things I want to do.
Okay.
I do want to like play with Sparky to get some of my spirit points back, but I mostly want to start like training him to like track and stuff, like especially as we're going through the wetlands, so he can like not that he's not already useful, but like have a purpose and something to do, and like we can have just extra support like when we're tracking and stuff.
100%. If you want to do an animal handling to see as you're training how well this training sits with the wonderful little Sparky.
13.
Okay. He's starting to get the basics. He's a little, you can see he's doing the kind of the corgi head cocking of slightly confused from thinking this is playtime to know you're actually training him a skill to use. He's starting to get it. You think with a little bit more practice, he'll get it. And if you want to roll a d20 to get spirit points back, you can as well.
I think I eventually, because these are familiars, right? So they're fake creatures and can be resummoned.
Yes.
Okay. I think I want to eventually kind of teach him how to fight, so maybe he can be useful in combat too.
Sure.
Since that's the case.
100%.
I got a nat 20.
Nice.
Hey.
There we go.
Do I get extra spirit points? No, I'm kidding.
No.
No, I'm actually, that puts me back at full. So.
Nice.
Nice.
Feeling much more rejuvenated. Still physically sore, but otherwise you feel like you're back.
Second thing I want to do,
sure,
because if I recall correctly, when we got back to Weldor's last night before the battle, Ori had brought up the old guy at the guard towers, and Weldor said he didn't know him.
Mm-hmm. Orquil, yes.
Yeah, I want to go back over there.
Okay.
One, to look at Jeremy's stuff just to see if there's like any hint that like maybe he had been corrupted before and I just didn't notice.
Sure.
And then I do want to check on this guy because, again, Welder said there were some new faces that he wasn't familiar with, and it just seems strange.
Sure.
That he wouldn't know this one. And also, this guy is like, he was like pretty elderly, so it's like a little strange that he would move all the way out here into the wetlands.
100%. Okay. Which of the abodes do you head to first? Do you head to Jeremy's? They're right next to each other, so
yeah. I'll go to the Orquel first.
Okay.
Orquel, whatever his name.
Orquel, yes. Orquel. Okay. You head over there. The door is ajar. It's not locked. And upon, I imagine, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you're using your senses to see if, like, sense if you hear movement or anything within the house before going in, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't seem to be here. Now, that could be a number of things, you know, and we'll recall that people were saying that the tavern was kind of going to be their what's the word? Stronghold. A lot of people had evacuated there just because there's a little bit more protection with the fact that there's even a trap door kind of thing. So it could be a number of things with that.
You said the door is open though?
The door is ajar, yes.
I'd like to push it open and just see if there's... I just want to see what's inside.
Okay. Why don't you roll a perception check for me as you were walking in?
Is Sparky going to help me since he's being trained right now?
Always. I'm always assuming Sparky is helping you.
What is that? You said, what did you say, perception?
Perception, yes.
It's not great. It's just a 12.
Okay. You can tell that this...
I'm going to use it.
I was going to say, you have a bunch of inspiration.
That's 15.
Okay. Compared to Jeremy's house, this is much more well kept. Everything is clean. There's no dust. There's no... You can see that some of the elements have come in from last night with the fire and the wind that's been going. But largely this place didn't really get hit compared to some of the other places. What's strange, perhaps, is that this home doesn't really look like it's been super lived in. You've seen Weldor's home. You've seen Jeremy's home, where there have been mementos from travels or, you know, things like that, scrolls, or even a mess. This looks immaculately clean. You would also notice that the wall facing closest to Jeremy's house, there's a small crack in one of the wood planks in the wall. And it looks like that hole was made. It was not already part of the wood. You know how wood usually has that kind of wear and tear. This looks like something was used to cut through it.
That's not great. I'm trying to think of what Deodora could do. Like when I look in, does it like just look into like Jeremy's living room or something? Like where he was sleeping?
Yep. It looks directly at where Jeremy's cot was on the floor.
Do I smell anything?
I'm gonna allow, because this is a different sense. Why don't you roll another perception, because I know you have advantage when it comes to scent.
Perception, that's 16.
You smell floral. That same kind
Similar
of scent
to-
that was kind of on the air last night. It was largely at bay because of the rain and the wind that was moving around. But also that you've been kind of loosely tracking since Hope, that farm.
Mm-hmm.
It's not overwhelmingly, like, overpowering the senses, but something was here and then it was moved.
Okay.
And that kind of ghost of the scent is still there.
Yeah. Is there any sort of residue or anything?
You can see based off of that perception check, there's some dirt. There's a couple of fallen petals, but they're black and shriveled up, kind of like when a flower has been in the sun for too long, kind of thing.
Okay. Can I what I would like to do is maybe find a vial or some kind of container.
Sure.
And sort of with like maybe a napkin or a piece of paper, like brush these petals into the container without touching it with my hands.
100%.
And then like seal it up.
Okay.
Because I want to bring this to Weldor.
100%. You can easily find a jar, even though this kitchen and place doesn't look like it's been well lived in. There are things like plates and things like that. So you can find a jar. It doesn't have a lid, but think of like a mason jar that you could easily kind of scoop it into and have that.
Okay. And I'll like do what I can to like sort of cover it, like maybe take like the same napkin that I use and like put it over, and then like with some twine like cover it so it's not like it won't blow out of the jar or like be susceptible to like accidentally touching somebody, because I don't know
Sure.
what's going on here. And then okay, I think then finding that, is there anything else that I notice, or is that pretty much it?
From that angle, you do see that there also seems to be, because you have a perfect view, right, of Jeremy's house. You can also see, though, that there are kind of spots in the wood planks between Jeremy, like on the ground, on that platform. And there seems to be several objects that are floating underneath Jeremy's house.
Okay. I would like to go down there and inspect.
Okay. It is water and alligators and crocodiles have kind of been exploring. So, are you going into the water, or are you kind of just looking through the planks, kind of trying to see through? What are you doing to try to get a better view of it?
I will look through the planks first, and if I can't see it, then I will go into the water.
Okay.
Like I'll take off my plate, or my chainmail.
Sure.
So I'm not like encumbered, and then I will go into the water.
Okay. You can see what appears to be the stems of a number of, it looks almost like a sunflower, but the leaves have been picked.
Okay.
There's about 6 of these kind of stems that no longer have the full flower on it anymore.
Yeah.
That
Same
are
amount of
underneath Jeremy's
monsters
house.
that, the same amount of the creatures that attacked us last night?
Correct.
Okay. In that case, I'm not going to go into Jeremy's house because I feel like maybe I'll go back later.
Sure.
But I want to get to Weldor like right now, like in Toby and Blackstone, because I know this is like obviously this is bad, but I don't really have any means of like detecting magic or anything like that. So I need like somebody who knows who knows magic to come help me at this point. I've done like my survival training shit and I gotta go.
Sure.
We'll probably run into me walking around town.
Correct.
Okay.
And we'll have that in a moment. Go on.
Sorry, I just want to say, sorry to interrupt. I do want to say, I also do want to get Weldor and Toby too, because that way we have 3 different types of magic looking at this area.
100%.
Instead of,
We'll say then during this time, Toby, you wanted to go with Weldor, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I imagine Bolita is bigger every day, so I imagine I'm over him like riches and like I'm riding Bolita a bit.
Yeah.
And
Go on.
Oh, and as we're walking with Welder, I just kind of reach for Welder's hand and just tap it and just say, "We're gonna find your friend."
And he looks at you like stone cold. Absolutely. No doubt in my mind. And he'll like kind of squeeze it.
Just go to the tavern.
Okay. At this point, you do see Blackstone going around and holding out their hands and things kind of slowly coming together. You see Deodora at this point is over at where you know the Crown's Guard homes were, Weldor. And after a few moments, you do see Deodora coming out and kind of staring at the floorboards of the platform, kind of trying to look at something by chance.
Real quick backtrack.
Sure.
The Jeremy and Levi.
Yes.
Are they where I left them?
No. You can see tracks, though. They seem to have been dragged towards the tavern.
Perfect. That's
Yeah. Just so I don't start that panic of they're gone. No, they have been dragged elsewhere and probably secured in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I was gonna say like if I could have retconned something, that would have been that. So that's perfect.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, kind of on the way. Find anything interesting?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right.
I'll explain to all of them like what I found, and like point out like the stems underneath, you know, the hut and the petals, and like you said last night that you didn't know who this person was, and I would have come back last night, but then, you know, everything happened.
Certainly.
But it did seem odd to me that somebody so elderly would have moved all the way out here into the wetlands, so I wanted to take a look. And it definitely, to an extent, was an inside job.
God, I fucking love you, Fair.
I love you too, Robo. But I found petals, black, and I'll show him the jar, and I found stems from where those creatures came from. And and they've been, just from what I've gathered, corrupting Jeremy this whole time. And maybe that's why he was shirking his duties. I also think that maybe it targeted something that he already felt and just made it worse.
It's pretty typical. Take what already exists and then amplify it.
Yeah, but this is where at least those creatures originated. I don't know about this man, if he's even still around. I didn't meet him. Only Oria met him.
Or if that man was that man.
Or
the whole
that.
time.
Or that. it's concerning, but I guess a lot of other things are as well. But at least we have an answer. Just not all of them.
Right. Doesn't seem to change our course.
Not at
Direction.
all. I think it just strengthens it.
I agree. Well, my plan was to check in with everybody before we head out. Something I really should have done before my body decided to make the decision for me.
I think they're okay, Weldor. Like, not saying that you shouldn't check on them now, but like, it's okay that you didn't check on them last night. You helped save them. You made sure that they were going to be okay, even without checking on them in the aftermath. And you can't take care of others if you're not taking care of yourself.
He just shakes his head with a bit of a grin. Deja vu. Deja vu.
I was wondering though, did you want to go inside of Jeremy's hut to see if there's anything else that we could find? There's only so much I can do. I don't have any knowledge in magic, so I can't detect anything, but it's possible that we could get some more leads.
Yeah. Any information's good information. And yeah, we'll head that way, I guess.
Okay. You head over to the Crown's Guard platform, which, if you're thinking about in the clock in terms of the tavern, it's about 1 o'clock, 1:30.
Oh damn, it's that late?
No. In
No,
terms of
that's
the
where it is. That's where
okay.
it's situated.
I was like, I was like, what? I was like, whoa.
No.
Like, damn, we slept.
We slept. Yeah.
Trying to give y'all a visual,
Yeah,
just
no, I
because
got you.
we don't have the map up right
Yeah.
now.
Gotcha.
So not too far.
Okay. One thing I forgot to mention is Waldor actually had brought his shield with him, even though he doesn't have like any of his armor or weaponry or anything like that right now. It flashes into a tea kettle, and you get the instant smell of this strawberry green tea. And he kind of takes out some mugs before we go in. Do y'all want any?
I'll take some.
Yeah, I'll take some.
Sounds like you need it.
Sure, I can try some.
Yeah, and he'll pour everybody a cup, and then is this door ajar as well?
Are you going to Jeremy's first?
Yeah.
Okay. So to set the scene, because there is one house that has been marked red, which the windows are open. This got a bit of damage, probably more so than Jeremy and this so-called Orquell's house. This one got more. You can see into it where like a section of the wall has kind of been carved out. It doesn't appear anyone's inside. Like, same as your house, there's a good thing of dust. Probably from the debris, but also from the lack of anyone living in it in the last few weeks.
In Jeremy's?
No, this is the house before Jeremy's.
No, the
I'm
one
setting
with
the
the red
scene.
X on
Yeah.
it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got confused.
Jeremy's, there's still, even though Theodora tried her very best to clean up all the mess, there's still a little bit of an odor that is in this area. Slightly floral, but still something just seems off, rotted. And that's Jeremy's house.
Doesn't, like, the rot, is it like the same like food rot type
Yes.
smell, or is it like, okay, just making sure it
Yeah.
was like, maybe I missed a rotting
Nope.
body somewhere?
No, there is not a rotting body of any kind. No. It's that food rot, especially for those individuals that live with wood, in your surroundings. If you leave food on it for too long, then it will take, and that's really hard to get that out of the wood, that kind of character that you've now added to it. There's that kind of moldy scent to it as well.
Mhm.
So, but again, pretty spotless again, thanks to Diodora. But this place does look pretty disheveled, Weldor, from probably the last time you were in here, and having a probably a different conversation with Jeremy, who was in somewhat better spirits.
I don't know if it makes you feel any better that what was, because I assume by now you probably told Weldor that Jeremy was a crab. Unless you kept that to yourself. Up to you.
No, I would have told. Like, that's. I mean, what's the point of keeping that?
Right. I don't know if it makes you feel any better that it was, at least seems to be magically manipulated into that corruption that he became. Or maybe it was worse.
I think it's bad either way. Doesn't really make me feel good. Especially because I did say some harsh things to him without realizing. That's just something I'll have to deal with later.
It's sandy consolation. It looks like it was a ticking time bomb regardless, so I don't think you escalated the transformation.
I have no doubt. I don't even know how I would have done that, but I guess I just wish I had known more before about all of this, because then maybe I would have had a different perspective. But
well, you might have a second opportunity here pretty soon.
Perhaps. I think right now it is what it is either way, and I just have to deal with it, and so yeah. I will.
Based off of the scent, is there like a physical or smell that directly tracks back to the other house?
Why don't you make a perception check?
Can I help by pointing out where the hole is and whatnot?
100%, you can do that. Yes.
I get advantage on these anyway.
You do.
Excuse me.
Do I get triple advantage?
Yeah.
No. Oh. I thought you wanted to say yes. 19.
Okay. Yes. You can see that they're, from your angle and Jeremy's kind of place and looking around, the scent, just how things are lining up, everything seems to be somewhat connected, but it's not an obvious kind of look. Again, you've lived in this area. It's not uncommon for holes to appear on these buildings, the wear and tear, or even sometimes for people to grow crops underneath their houses just because of the fertile nature that is around. But it is very strange that all of lightning is striking not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Right. And then, do I see the hole from Jeremy's?
Yes.
Okay. And that's the only vantage point that it has.
Correct.
All right.
Is there a hole from Jeremy's, the house with the X on it?
No.
And it's the wrong vantage point to look at my house, right?
Correct.
Okay. That's one thing I wanted to verify.
Yep.
All right. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to try. Nah. All right. I think I'm pretty decently good here. Toby, Blackstone, anything you want to try? Either here or over there? As far as I know, we followed between my locate creature spell last night and following the floral. I think we have our way to go and ways to cross-reference.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my abilities when we get there, or closer. To there. Yeah.
All right.
I'm teaching Sparky how to track too, so he can be of help.
Oh, that's great. Good to know.
Okay. Can you do that to like Bolita too? Can you kind of show
Can-
them around the ropes?
Sure, I can try. I've
Because
never-
I'm really not good at tracking that, since you're really good at it.
Yeah, I can try if they're open to it.
I could assist with that as well on the road. We can get going.
I think.
I'm not sure exactly how it is that I would be helpful in this situation otherwise. It seems that you have detected a whole bunch of things. So, perhaps I should wait until later.
I've detected a lot of physical things, but if there is something that,
Magical in nature.
yeah, or even I suppose like out of character, I suppose I can also try to look spiritually too to see if there's something.
Are you looking for something? Are you thinking that something arcane might be amiss?
Something
considering-
arcane, something spiritual maybe. With arcane I can't, there's nothing I can do for that. So that's why I wanted the three of you to come, because you're more gifted in that.
Okay, so can I roll an arcana to see, well, I guess a couple of things, because they've already detected like the Negaverse vibes over here,
Right.
as it were. So,
Yep.
I mean, listen, I'm gonna say it. So, we got the Negaverse vibes over here, but things like where their spells to help facilitate this, or to hide the presence of this from people until such a time, because I can't imagine that someone like Weldor would have been here with a presence like that and not noticed it, even in its like younger stages.
Yeah. I mean, he's never been in one of the arcane anyway.
Okay.
Oh no.
I want to say out of character, my next character, if something were to happen to Deodora, knock on wood that nothing ever does, I am gonna have, my next character is gonna have that evil Sailor Moon laugh, like,
No.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
Okay. So,
yes.
Yep.
That is going to be an arcana of, drumroll please, 21.
Nice. Okay.
Damn.
So what are you looking for specifically? Just because you mentioned a few things, so I want to make sure that I know what you're.
Basically, I'm looking for, in addition to like the other nonsense happening, of the presence of arcane magic, and if so, what kind it is. Not necessarily what spell, but like school.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I'm not a studied wizard, so I don't think I would know what a spell is, but I would definitely know something like this is transmutation or something.
Got it.
If only we had a wizard.
Damn. We just kicked ours to the curb, y'all. No, I'm joking.
Oh my
It's
god.
not we didn't kick her to the curb. We did it. I
Finn,
take
we
it
love
back.
you.
I'm sorry. I love you, Finn.
So with that roll, Blackstone, the magic kind of reaching out, searching, trying to connect and specify what happened here. Two things happen with that roll. One, you don't get the sense of what specific school it is, but a memory pops up. You and Cal have done something similar. Back when this all began and you were searching the tunnels underneath Illipin and came across several presents that were set to be delivered to Astera. Same kind of magic. Again, the name of the school, just because it hasn't been defined, it hasn't been discovered, it hasn't been revealed, that doesn't come to mind, but there is similarities between the two.
If I remember correctly, it blended different types of magic, right?
Correct. Again, this is from months ago, so that's why I'm giving you a little bit. A little bit more than I normally would.
I mean, this is why we take notes.
Yep.
Well, we,
Sure. Yes.
it's the same magic that was in that box of magic wands that we found. It seems like it's been forever ago now since we did that.
It was just like 3 weeks ago. Do you sense a source in this place? Like where it's coming from?
Psst, DM.
Answer the question.
DM check.
What was the question?
Do I sense like a source for where this is coming from?
No.
And is that source nearby?
No.
Okay. No.
Okay. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then we knew it before, but we definitely know now that it's connected.
If that's the this has increased my suspicions manyfold, I believe, of who might be behind this. I will save that for whenever we talk to them. Hopefully violently.
Then we won't really be talking.
Who do you believe in to me?
I don't know.
Starry.
I feel that knives are a very good make good conversation points. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Oh, sorry.
Oh, literal points. That's good.
And there's like a physical, like almost like a takes a step back. Damn, Cooper, calm down.
He's like, get that bitch.
Yeah, get him. Let's go, Dad. Let's go.
That is the name that Pittyweather said.
And the last time we ran into magic of this type, which isn't from one magic school, but a blending of several, that was the name that was connected to it.
Yeah.
That seems to be a through line for, well, an unfortunate amount of our adventure so far.
He looks at Deodora. Well, if that's the case and it wasn't personal, it certainly is now.
I still think it was. Took your friends. That's what he said, right? Taking another one of your friends.
Then he was
That could be a number of-
specifically referring to Penny.
Or Greenwich.
I do believe that is correct in both cases, although maybe not so directly with Greenwich.
And like for the first time since you've known him, like he's been pretty cool as a cucumber, even when he's been like a little miffed. But there is the cup runneth over of rage for just a second.
Whoever that figure was, perhaps it was Belsarian, perhaps not. I think signs point to it being him. But even if it's not him, they are connected. And therefore, if we find them, we will find a number of answers to questions that we have. And I think we should get going as soon as possible.
Yeah,
Let's drop
maybe
off the food. I'm sorry, go ahead, Toby.
No, good.
Yes, let's drop off the food at the tavern. And a few people know what we've got planned, and then I think we'll grab my armor and head the hell out.
Oh, well, that's a good thing, because then I can talk to the people about the importance of talking to trees.
I suppose you will.
I mean, people don't just do that.
It's typically a spell, from what I understand.
They don't talk back, but you can talk to a tree. You don't need to talk. They don't need to talk back.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Though I don't really know what we're debating at this point. And he walks out the door.
Oh, I wasn't debating. I was just stating a fact.
You were very
I
correct.
talked.
The fact that you have stated is actually very correct.
Thank you.
Validation, Rainbow.
At this point, we just need like Blackstone with a rainbow to just put words in.
I'm getting kind of tired from carrying this thing. It's getting kind of heavy, so can we just go?
What are you
Carrying
carrying?
what
Would you
thing?
like some assistance?
I don't know. Is it normal like that? It's just getting kind of heavy. And I point to the bag of holding.
Oh, I just take it and I'll carry it.
It feels
Is it
really
heavy?
heavy.
Oh. I look at it. It's like, well, you guys put like several pounds of fucking topaz dust in here.
I didn't put it there. It's only the wings.
Okay. I will. We're already in this place where it's fucked anyway, so, like in the guard huts, I mean. I will reach in carefully and take them out.
Don't touch them, Theodore.
I'll use a napkin.
A napkin.
I'll use some kind of cloth, like I'm grabbing a donut.
You reach in. Your hand hits the bottom of the bag.
They're not in. I mean,
They're in there to the side, but in all the memory when you all have used this bag, when you've reached in, there's never been a bottom. But you feel the fabric material.
Can I?
All of your stuff is in there. So
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
you
yeah.
had in there is in there. The
Yeah.
wings, any health potions you had in there are in there. Not looking the greatest, but they're in there.
Okay, I would like to. I would like to turn the bag inside out and dump all that shit out.
Okay. Clara's wings that she had been wearing in her transformed state clatter to the ground. Several blackened vials and a heavy putrid odor emitting from it. These used to be health potions come clattering to the ground. All the magic sucked out of it. It's now a black ichor, very reminiscent of mud and tar, as it kind of sticks to the sides. Anything that was magicked and that was being held within this bag of holding, along with the bag of holding itself, is no more magicked. All of the magical capabilities, all the healing, everything has been removed. The crystals, though, have a somewhat brighter tinge of teal emitting from it.
Can I roll an Arcana to try to figure out what's happening here? Would you like Arcana or Insight?
So I'm gonna ask you this, Blackstone,
Mm-hmm.
because you all have seen something similar to this before. I don't think you actually need to roll an Arcana, and instead I would ask, what do you think Blackstone, based upon this information, based upon the fact that you have already mentioned that this stuff has happened previously in a different components have been a part of it. So I'm going to challenge you, because I don't think that every single thing like this needs a check in order to do that. You know your characters, you know the information, so would they be putting that together? Don't tie that to a roll kind of thing. I'm going to challenge that.
Okay. I mean, challenge away. But there's a lot of... So... These... Was it wings that you placed in the bag?
Yeah.
How long have they been there? Since the farm?
Since the farm.
Not even a week. I think it's been like just a couple days. If
And
that.
and it's consumed the arcane energies of a bag of holding and the life energy that comes from a healing potion.
Yeah.
I feel better than I have been feeling for a week.
Unfortunately, that's what close proximity contact to these things do, and that's why
Yeah.
when we first ran into this magic, we declined to touch it and instead asked magic specialists to do it. Because trying to use a mage hand on them, the mage hand was immediately consumed as well. Even distance magic, it just ate all of the things.
That's my spiritual energy.
I dare say it's your life force. It was fireflies the last time we looked at this.
Oh, this sucks.
Literally.
Literally. Maybe we should
Okay.
put them away from everybody and everyone.
I don't.
Well, I will say that maybe this might be a question that we could pose at some point to Deidre. She managed to learn how to make magic that she could use to contain these for the purposes of studying them that the crystals did not consume. I do
Yes.
not know what kind of magic it is.
I
Likely
turned,
abjuration.
I turned to Weldor immediately. Like, send the fucking message. You know.
Oh, okay.
Do you have magic that can get to Deidre right now? Blackstone?
Actually, I believe we all do, but I can give this a try. Wait a minute. Weldor, didn't you say that you had sending magic that you could use?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Because I feel like this is a situation where we don't necessarily experiment right now. We just get the message to her.
Experiment, but science is good.
I didn't say science wasn't good, but I said that we do not have time to. We don't have the time.
I suppose that's fair. This is an unfortunate time to science.
Yes.
That is a shirt right there. Absolutely.
Because my concern is that Toby, you said we should put this somewhere where nobody could touch it, but it doesn't just suck spirit energy out of people, it also sucks it out of things and plants and anything that has a spirit. So it's not safe anywhere,
Or one
regardless
might
of where we
say
put it.
anything that could be considered alive is in
Yeah.
danger as long as it's anywhere near an object like this one.
So I think our best bet is to contact Deidre to let her know that these things are here. And then maybe she can send a team, or she can come out herself and retrieve them.
Or she can teleport one of the containers that she used.
I think that's kind of 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other.
Very fair.
I'm sorry, everyone.
You
If I
really
was-
you can't apologize for trying to resist the ravages of a creature such as this. And Toby sees an image of the the veil and like what looked like stars falling out of the sky and this giant void consuming them for the briefest of moments before it disappears. Toby, there isn't really much you can do in trying to combat nonsense like this.
You shouldn't apologize for something that happened to you.
Also,
It was done to you.
Weldor was like on the way outside, and then like heard his name, and then caught the tail end. There may be an opportunity for a little bit of experiment.
But we can do a little bit of science.
A little bit of science.
Small science is good.
Why don't you play one of them things and touch me on my back?
You want me to do what?
Play a movie.
Yeah. Whatever that word means.
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh,
No.
Cinematic record.
Oh, I see the idea that you were going for, and I appreciate it. So, I touch Weldor. Well, I use telepathy to show Weldor the last, let's say, 5 minutes of conversation.
And I cast Sending to DD. And the first part of that, DD dear, Weldor here, got something you might want to see. And then
Oh my god, that's so fucking
The
dope.
the movies do two things. Well, they're like, here's what's in the movie. In the scene that that Deidre sees, there is the party looking at the crates, a focus on the wands with the crystals, her studying the crystals, and then the last couple of minutes of conversation that we have here with a focus on one of the crystal wings.
Okay. Okay, so with this then, Weldor, I'm going to need you to make an Arcana check to see, because you're still, so, setting of the scene. We've seen previously that these crystals, these wings, anything like that, they've been absorbing magic from items, the area around individuals, but also one's own magic. So yes, you have moved towards the door, but you're still within a proximity of those crystals. So you are pushing against that to try to move your message forward, kind of thing.
Can I read your Arcana check? And considering wisdom is my nature,
Yes.
use a wisdom check instead.
I will allow that. I think that makes sense.
Okie dokie.
Can I assist?
How are you assisting?
Well, like, I understand that he's like, I guess I'm using telepathy over here. So if he runs into resistance with this magic, I would like to assist him by also, like, I guess, offering a spell slot's worth of energy.
Okay. You
And
can
I'll
certainly
guide
do
myself
that.
as well.
Okay. So you will have advantage.
All right.
I pat him on the back and give him a thumbs up of encouragement.
Feels great. My first roll was better. 23.
23. All of you see this happening, where that connection is leaving. It's almost like lightning moving between Blackstone into Weldor, and you see as it's leaving Weldor, all of a sudden these teal kind of threads seemingly trying to wrap around it, but Weldor and Blackstone's magic just weaving around it enough that's able to shoot outwards into the sky, heading in the proximity of Illipin. It's hard to tell.
No, not in Jeremy's house.
Wait a minute. We saw the energy, and the energy was teal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This thing seems odd, I think. Because the crystal wings are black, are they not?
No, they're
They're
teal.
going a teal currently.
They're going to.
Yeah.
But they weren't before, right?
They were a dull kind of teal color, yes.
Oh.
Largely black, think of like a light bulb when the light is actually off. So you can still see the residue of the color. Color is always present. It's just whether it's heightened or not. Yes, Deodora.
Okay.
Sorry. Just that description and like Blackstone bringing that up reminded Deodora of the conversation they had about the tree earlier, and I was wondering something, but it's kind of like a sort of a two-part question, I guess.
Sure.
Do I, just based on what Blackstone had mentioned about the tree and our knowledge of these crystals and how they operate,
Mm-hmm.
either the stems that are still left behind sapping energy from this tree, or is there potentially a crystal that's sapping energy from this tree that maybe is buried? Because I remember, and Deodora will remember the crystal trees that were going to be buried, and they were, if I recall correctly, they were trees that came out of the Genora wetlands and looked like trees that were from the Genora wetlands?
Mm-hmm.
Did they look like this tree?
I mean, this tree, the one in the center of town, looks very reminiscent of a lot of the trees in the area. There was nothing that was remarkable in terms of marking like a door in the tree or anything like that. That denoted that this was specifically that tree, for instance. To your point, there is certainly, obviously, the possibility that, yes, there could be a crystal in the area. From what you were able to see when you were looking around, it didn't seem like there was one, at least from what you could tell.
Okay.
And I don't think I saw one either.
Not in the when you talk to the tree, no, but that I think Deodora would say. I think maybe. Or did you when you had the conversation with the tree, and it showed you like an image of it trying to bloom but not being able to? Was that like at its like its root systems, or was it? It was. Was it like at the heart of the root system that it showed you?
That was the question I was going to ask. Was it a root or was it fruit that was trying to grow from the tree?
The roots.
Okay. It seems that the interruption was happening at the roots.
I think before we leave, we should maybe take a look.
All right.
And then, did we get a response back from Deidre?
Oh, that reminds me. Before we do that, Weldor, since it is very possible that Deidre is going to respond to you first, considering what we just saw, maybe just step further outside of the house.
I agree. And besides, food's getting cold.
Do we want to just leave these? Do we want to just leave these here, in this hut?
I think that's probably.
It seems very far removed. I guess I'm concerned, but I mean, hopefully Deidre can come or send someone or something. We should maybe mark this house, not with a red X though, with something that she could spot easily.
I'm gonna look around in the house that we're in and see if there's a crate in here.
So yes, you can easily find crates. A lot of them have stuff just because Deodora had been helping to clean a lot of the stuff and had been trying to organize and at least make it a little bit more presentable. Yes, there's about 4 or 5 crates you could use.
Okay, so I'm going to take one of the crates and kind of like have this apologetic look before I just like take all of his contents and pour them out on the ground so as not to ruin them. I'm going to like use the lid of the box to try to scoop the crystals in there and
like
then
I did with
turn
the flower
it
petals.
Yep.
What if this thing was well, what if this thing is alive and it was becoming me while it was carrying?
Oh, well.
Imagine that in a southern accent because I forgot I had an accent.
Oh, amazing.
What do you mean becoming you?
I mean, that's my energy right there.
Right.
Keep in mind, Toby, that energy isn't you. It's part of you, certainly. Your essence is more than that.
Also, the being... Oh, sorry.
Matter of fact, your actions these last few days certainly add on top of that. So even if it was that, it could never become you because you're you.
Thank you, Welder. Appreciate it.
Also, I can confirm for you that it is a sentient being that dislikes me.
Mm-hmm.
To the open question Deodora asked, has anyone got any... Actually, I probably have chalk in my component pouch.
You would have definitely been carrying some kind of pouch,
100%.
Chalk rather.
I have cartographer's tools.
Oh.
Maps are the only thing I can read.
Oh. That'll be good to know. And he opens the door to the outside,
Mm-hmm.
and he takes out a small like a green piece of chalk, and you kind of see him draw something pretty wide on it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's actually two drawings, one on top of the other. The first one I actually need a little bit of help on.
Okay.
Because I have the some of the images of the other gods, but I actually don't have the one that represents Ashura.
Okay.
So that's what I would draw.
All right, let me pull up my notes because it's been a second.
Cool.
So for Ashura, you can use. So anything related to like the harvest. So if there was like not necessarily a pitchfork, but if you wanted to represent like, you know, oftentimes with the harvest is the idea of the setting of the sun. So if you wanted to draw like a horizon and then the sun kind of setting on that, that's usually a symbol for because it's the time of Ashura. It's the time of day, and that's again the association of fall, is the transition before kind of nighttime, before winter, before, you know, death can kind of be coming into play here. So you can easily do that. That's not a problem.
Okay. And then right below it, he puts in common DPASLW,
Okay.
which is the first initials of everyone in his adventuring party.
Got it. And during this time, you
And
do.
one last thing, sorry, and then puts like a starburst like around it,
Okay.
because that was their insignia.
Yes. During this time, as you're kind of sketching everything out, the chalk connecting with the pieces of wood, still damp in the air. And that seems to be helping keep the chalk actually taking to the wood. You do get, it's a very static-y message from Deidre, back. This is alarming news. We'll add this to the research. Are you all okay?
And go ahead and cast sending again. Been better, been worse. It has been a challenging few days. People still missing. But we're hot on the trail. And if our assumption is right, I'll send word. But it might be who I've been looking for all this time.
You feel through the bond a weariness, concern, and then a very faint, it seems to be almost like a very crude sketch of you having tea with Deidre and Greenwich and Blackstone, Deodora, Toby, Oria. Everyone's in the background, and you all are in a somewhat happier time. Perhaps she's conveying her wish for the future. And with that, I think that's going to be a great place to stop.
Before we go out.
Go. Sorry.
Before we go out, Toby's just gonna reach for the wings and like, I want to try something. I touch the wings.
You like, I'm gonna hold
With
the
my-
for this box.
Oh well, with my left hand I touch the wings, and with my right hand, my hand just starts like twitching and just doing sparks, and then a flame, and then ice, and it starts like doing a lot of stuff, and like I stop touching it, Right. And I just turned to everyone. I'm trying something. It might be worth our time. What?
Sorry.
It was so shocking that you left.
I was trying to unmute and I just
Hit
was
the
not
button.
paying full
Hit the
attention.
wrong
I'm
button.
so
Yep.
sorry.
It didn't.
It's all good. It
fuck
didn't
anything
mess
up. You're
anything
good.
up, so you're good.
I didn't think it did, but I was like, oh fuck.
It sounds like this is a moment for science, but this is very deadly science. You understand?
I don't. Yeah.
Also,
It's-
Toby, I do need you to, as soon as you touch the crystals, to go ahead and make another save.
Wisdom?
Yep. That's. Why do you think I was making that look? I'm like,
Oh, personality
really?
natural. Oh, okay. 22.
22.
Nice.
So you'll take half.
Okay.
You feel as the moment that your fingers touch the crystal, it feels warm to the touch. Like almost like it's been pulled off of a fire and melded with.
Okay.
You will take half of this. It was going to be 20 points of spirit damage. You will take half, which is 10.
Holy shit! That would have been bad.
So you take 10 points of spirit damage as you feel that energy leaving you.
Okay, so I still don't have. Yeah, okay. But I'm going to ask this.
Sure.
Do I feel more of a sense of familiarity? Am I more familiar to this type of energy?
I guess the clarifying question would be in what kind of context? Just because you've been kind of exploring this crystal and that kind of magic already, so...
Sure. It's more of a... Am I more familiar with this type of magic or feeling that I can... Since I've been around it this whole time.
That's up for Toby to kind of interpret because of the
Okay.
proximity. Because of the way that Toby has been feeling. And maybe that's something for you and Toby to sort out of how much has this been Toby feeling a certain type of way and how much has it been possibly the crystal's influence. So that's more of a question for Toby. I'm not going to make you roll.
Okay.
Just because I think you have that knowledge. Toby has that knowledge. I don't think it needs a roll to be attached to that in any way, shape, or form.
All right. So I'm going to cast Protection from Energy on myself and to see if I can use it to protect from that energy.
Okay. Roll an Arcana check to see again, because this thing has been taking the magic.
Guidance.
Yep.
Can I ready an action to knock him out of the way if I sense this going down bad?
100% you can. Yes.
Just punt this little gnome away from this crystal.
Get away.
That's a 6 plus a d4.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a 8.
I have a. I don't know if this will work.
What?
The cookie that I ate. It has not been a full 24 hours,
Inspiration.
so I was wondering if I
Inspiration.
can give him, the +7 instead of, because I'm gonna forget about it. So
Sure. I'll allow it in this one time. I
Okay.
think that'll be fine.
I'm going to
Toby,
use my
you can have-
inspiration.
Good
And
idea.
you also get +7.
+7. Okay.
Yep.
Just take it.
Take it.
All right.
Take it.
That's
Theodora just
12
bird
plus-
feeds this cookie back to Toby. with the-
Yeah, 100%.
And guidance.
Okay, so that's a 21.
Okay, much better. This thing, you can see it's starting to take the magic. You cast the spell and you can feel it trying to protect you from this energy.
Fuck yeah.
It does not go through.
Oh Jesus.
The spirit and sorry, just to clarify,
The crystal energy.
The teal tendrils do not get through the protection from energy.
Correct.
Okay, great.
But it doesn't seem like the protection from this specific energy actually goes into play. It wasn't sucked in.
It,
by the
cancels
crystal.
out.
Yeah, it basically is just
Okay.
a draw between the two.
Got it.
Okay.
Tie game. All right.
I'm just trying this stuff.
All How are you feeling, first of all? That's the most important.
A little better.
Like
Well-
a scientist.
We are all scientists now,
All right.
and that's
Oh,
Just kidding.
Also, I should probably point this out. Toby, I think our two friends here are very concerned about your health and well-being, and will probably take measures to stop you if they feel that your life is in danger. Please proceed with that knowledge.
I appreciate that, and I welcome that.
I was hoping that was obvious.
Theodora's poised to just grab Toby by like a cat by the back of his neck, just like the extra
I have learned.
skin fold to just take him away.
Sure.
I have learned from previous dealings with Cal that in spite of the fact that our friends are here to save our lives if we get in trouble, no one quite expects being punched in the face.
Yep.
That is true.
Would these wings be considered a creature by chance?
You could certainly check and see. And we'll know the answer to that.
Amazing. It's fine.
We are going to get
Us
out of here.
scrambling to keep playing.
I know. Believe me, I would love
One
to.
more thing.
I know. I was like, okay.
Sorry.
No,
it's
never
totally fine.
apologize, Robo. That was really good.
Yeah, it was worth it.
I was totally fine with that. So never apologize for that. And that's why we checked too all ahead of time of, hey, are we good if we go over a little bit? Because I had a feeling
We needed to
you
go
all
over.
were going to start picking things apart and things were going to start firing off on all things. So I had a feeling this was going to happen, but I think it's a perfect stopping point.
So it is.
So
Yes.
make a note so you can certainly check into this Duval and Weldor at the top of the session. So we'll have that roll kind of take place.
It's less a roll and more like if like something bad happens, I'm gonna cast fucking command and tell it
sure.
to stop.
100%.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You're not my dad.
You're not my real dad.
Anyways, thank you all so much for hanging out with us today. I know we went long, but there was a lot of really good stuff happening, and we're really getting into it, y'all. I'm super excited. Just a quick reminder again that on Monday starts the apparel drive for Champions of Psychology in collaboration with the wonderful people over on Idle Champions. So you can help support them with a purchase of Champions of Psychology apparel, such as that wonderful shirt that is being modeled in the picture. Supporters will also receive exclusive codes to claim goodies from both Idle Champions and Bushwhacker 2. Keep an eye on the socials, as that's where those links will be posted. Again, it'll be live for, I believe, a week and a half. It was the 24th, I believe, is a Wednesday. But it's going to be an absolutely fantastic time. Sorry, Salem sees a ladybug, and he is super excited about trying to catch it. So he is in hunting
he's a
mode.
cat. Weird.
Yep, he's in hunting mode currently. But all of you, thank you so much. Robo, you said there was something happening on Wednesday for you, correct?
Oh yeah. Though, so you think you might be trans panel in my channel at 4 p.m. Pacific, and yeah.
Amazing. Thank you. Sorry, he's like full on with this ladybug now. Thank you all so much for today. We will be back. Oh yes, Fair. Yes, your friend. Sorry.
Bitch.
Sorry, there's a lot happening.
Sparky said it. No, at the top I had said this, so I'm just repeating it. One of my best friends, Jessica, is being forced out of her home, and so if there's anything you guys can do to assist, any spare change you have, please send it her way. I'm linking in the chat now. It has an explanation of everything that's going on and ways you can send money to support. So if you have anything to spare, please do. She's literally one of my best friends. We've known each other for like 15 years, I think, at this point. And she's going through a lot, and unfortunately she's not in a position where she can have like full-time work just because of her disabilities and whatnot. So thank you.
Thank you. We want to help out any way that we can, so thank you so much again for sharing that. we are going to be out of here for today, but we're of course going to send a raid out to one of our fabulous friends who are live currently. Tune in on next Saturday for episode 28, which is ridiculous to say. We'll see what further investigations will be happening, what's going to be happening at the tavern, as well as what the next moves are and where they're going to be going next. Again, also check out our Patreon. We are 3 patrons away from getting an All Familiars one-shot. You know you want to get it. I want that to happen too. So let's make it happen and help support our cast. And a little displacer beast named Salem, who is now very, very excited. But we are going to get out of here, y'all. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time, Beyond the Veil. Bye, everybody!